want to start these a lot earlier. I really hate having something I have to do at the end of the day. That's just me.
No
I
problem, dude.
hate having to like. I don't like responsibility at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't. So I'm like, can we start these earlier? Maybe.
Sure.
You're saying that, but I don't know, like, if we can or not. If we can match it up.
I could on Saturday. Now Sunday's out for me. I can't do Sunday.
Sunday's never, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sunday's a terrible day for me. Even playing video games. I mean, unfortunately, I can play like early because I normally stay up all night Saturday night.
Yeah.
Either hanging out with the wife or playing video games, which I plan on. Already hung out with her today, so
rocking.
I gotta get back on Conan, man. I'm jonesing for my Conan fix, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you can talk about that as well, Count. You've been playing quite a bit of that.
Oh, I fucking love that game, dude. Oh my god, we've been playing the shit out of it.
But Janzer, if you want to start the podcast 1 or 2 hours earlier.
Scheduling.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, just make the call and I'll do it. That's fine. I know my wife would like that.
All do it. That would be great because
I know my wife.
You know
would
what I mean?
Appreciate
it just I hate like we end these things at like 9, 10 o'clock and then I'm fucked. There's nothing either I'm staying up late to play games until I don't have to play games, but if I'm gonna, it's usually at the end of the day on Saturdays. So
again, no problem, dude. We can start.
All right, we'll look into it.
6 or 7, like whatever you want, man.
Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, actually, it's 7 your time that we start. Yep. I say we make the episode shorter.
Well, we never have been able to.
I know.
So we always go 2 to 3 hours. So
that's just the 3 hours is ridiculous in my opinion.
Sometimes it's 2.5,
but sometimes
2:45. Yeah. So it's like we know it's going to go over 2 by quite a bit. So a lot of the time. So, anyways, episode 43 of the B3 Gaming Cast.
Is it 43?
Yeah, and I feel every day of it. I'm tired as fuck.
Bad day, man. Allergies?
Bad day. No, I'm under the weather, but also all kinds of bullshit going on. I'm trying to move, and then stupid apartment. This management of these apartment complexes are just ridiculous. Wow, is that your mic count? It's like picking up every like.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Chat, let them know. I swear to God. Maybe are you like right up on it or something? Because it's not normal.
How's that? Does that sound a little better?
Yeah, and see, I can turn you up. That way you don't lose,
Well, I turned the gain down on my mixer, and I turned the compressor down on my mixer. Maybe I've got it too high.
I have no idea. It just sounded like you were like right up.
Oh, that is so nasty.
Exactly. I know. I was like, whoa.
Well, that's why you got to let me know that because I.
Yeah. And
see, I record my mic. I record like earlier in the day. I recorded some stuff on my microphone. It sounded fine.
Right.
Like in the video, it sounded fine.
Yeah, I think what it is when you're not talking, it then picks up any noise that like you were breathing or making a mouth noise for.
Oh.
Anyways, we're starting it again.
Hey, turn me down on TeamSpeak as well.
No, I turn you up because you turn down whatever your gain is.
Okay,
and then I turn you up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me know if this is better. I'm turning the gain way down. I mean,
and you're up though. I turned you up to like 11 at this point. So you're rock and roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you pick up less. Your mic picks up less, but the output still comes out at the same level because I balance it up. That's how it should be, at least.
I'm not any closer. Maybe I was a little closer to the mic than normal. I'll back off. That's fine.
I don't know, man. You know how it is. We never have a good start to anything. All right.
I kind of like to hear that, though. It means my mixer's working well. It's picking up. My mic's working well. Then it's picking up shit. So.
Well, you can go back to this one and listen to the beginning.
Oh, okay. I listened to the other one. I saw what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go ahead and edit this. So starting again from here. B3 Gaming Cast, episode 43. We never have an issue. Always a solid start. This is Janzer.
This is the Count.
There you go.
All right.
This is the Tron.
Oh, God.
What? You said this is the account. I can't say this
That's
is
my
the Tron.
fucking name. You're not
I'm
the
just
Tron.
Dancer. That's it.
Oh, man.
He's the Tron.
Yes, the Tron, the big man.
I call you, Big Ego Man. But anyway,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I just call you GT. I don't know.
Oh, I'm gangsta then.
What?
You
I
sound
don't
like
even-
that kid on Superbad. When
Yeah,
you said that.
let's
up,
talk about
gangsters?
something. Conan, you were talking Conan count. What's going on with Conan lately? You've been playing a lot of it, right?
Nah, not really. No, I'm
No?
just kidding, man.
Oh, okay.
I've been playing the shit out of it, Janzer.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a little self-promotion here. Anybody that wants to join me on my dedicated server that I'm paying fucking $15 a month for, I only have one guy so far.
Now, what is the name of your clan?
You would have to see now.
What?
See
You-
how
aren't
you're
you-
start-
But
see how
aren't
you're
you
starting
promoting
shit.
it? Are you not promoting it yourself?
See now you tell
I'm
me to shut
asking
my
'cause-
mouth, and now you're starting shit.
Okay, here's the thing.
What?
But you're promoting it, are you not?
Yes.
So if you're not promoting it, then I'm.
I
trying
wasn't
going to
trigger the folks by
That's not
telling them
triggering.
my
That's
clan
just
name.
That's the name of a clan. What is it?
Our
It's not a big deal.
clan is Sons of Trump. Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
our clan name in Conan. But it only consists of two guys, and Donald Trump's sons are kind of creepy, and we're a little creepy, So
Fair enough.
I thought it fit pretty well.
Y'all want to have a good time because it's fucking video games and they're having a good time. And
Oh, we're having a ball
yeah.
playing.
Having a good time.
Anybody that wants to come on, hit me on Twitter at follow the count, and I'll give you the password and the direct Steam link, the Steam direct link to the server. Now, here's the problem with the dedicated server. Funcom's been doing a patch like every day on the game, so I have to restart the server. You can't find the server on the server list. For one, their server list search engine is fucking balls sucks. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, it's garbage. My server never shows up. It takes like an hour for my server to show up after I start it from the survivalservers.com control panel. But I can instantly launch into the game just by hitting a button from their control panel. I bypass all the intro bullshit to the game, and it just puts me right into the server. But I have to restart the damn server every time, and then I have to wait like 15, 20 minutes before it actually like goes through, because I guess they're hammering Steam, with traffic. So that's what they said. But anybody that wants to join, just let me know, and I'll hit you in Discord or on Twitter with my the link and the password to the server. It's it is password protected. It's only got 10 slots right now, but I'm thinking about expand. If I get enough people, I'm going to expand it. I'm going to expand it to like 20 slots. So,
but are you going to save? Are you going to have one slot reserved just in case Trump decides to play? I would, dude. I don't even like the guy that much, but I don't care. I'd fucking save one. He's the goddamn president. Why wouldn't
I know, man?
I'd be like, yes, sir, President, sir. Here you go. Here's your slot. Here's your, what do you want?
I'd love
Long
to play
dong
Conan
or
with
huge
Trump,
tits?
man.
Which one? Yeah, me too.
I'll
be there, buddy?
I don't mind Donald Trump. I didn't support him. I didn't vote for him, but I'm not going to be hysterical and jump on the hate bandwagon either.
Look,
but anyway,
he's got a lot of power. Come on, I mean, Anyways,
yeah. All right.
But that is something that's cool, though. Like,
Conan.
Even though Barack Obama, the previous president, he openly admitted that he played in like video games. Like I remember there was a news story that when he went to visit Poland, the prime minister, if it's prime minister or president there of Poland, I don't know that
Prime
facts.
Minister.
Yeah, gifted him The Witcher 2.
Wow.
Yeah, and he accepted
a $10 Steam game. That's big of him.
Oh man.
I think it was when the game first came out in 2011, but that was a good one count.
Well, that's
A $10 Steam game.
But anyway,
Well, that's
we
like
just
what they
made
pay
that.
one of the developers because they're notoriously like cheap. They don't. It's not their fault. They don't make a lot of money. Go look at the damn like money for that. Remember The Witcher made like a lot of money, but they were still losing money overall as a company. So you make
the
this,
development cost
that
of
just
Witcher
says you don't
3
know
was
what-
like insane, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so they're moving on to more development. I actually reported on this back a while back at one of the B3. I'm not making fake news here, man. Learn your game.
No fake news.
No, who's accusing us of fake news?
Well, you went,
Nobody.
"Oh,"
Well, everybody's,
like I'm making
everybody's doing.
No, I went, as in surprised.
Oh, liar.
Liar.
Cheater.
Should I-
Wait.
Oh, don't call Tron a liar. He gets triggered by that. Come on.
Whatever.
Would you like to take a lie detector test? We can do one online. I can put on the strap and everything. I'll take
Whoa,
the truth serum.
you heard it here, folks. That's gonna be the name of the episode. Tron's putting on the strap. Wait.
Well, yeah,
Tron's
if you
strapping
squeeze your butthole real tight, you can beat those fucking lie detector tests. I guess that's the thing. That's what I heard.
Wasn't that the old lie detector test? Like the new ones are foolproof?
Oh, I don't think
nothing
they're
is foolproof.
Yeah, it's not foolproof.
I mean, look, here's a quick headline that I can throw in here. Valve teaching AI to search for cheaters. Once again, nothing is foolproof. Yeah, so they're gonna have like a little AI, and the thing is, they always have that kind of stuff going on, But they said, what ends up happening is the hackers, they just look at the fringe edges of where the heuristics for that end. So it's like, it's looking for a behavior, basically, is what it is, right? And so if anything is on the very edge of that, well, then that's where the hackers know to, like, basically, okay, we have to tailor our bots to be at the fringe edges
right on the outside
exactly.
of that, yeah.
So
of that
they
tolerance.
Can't tell if it's a person or just a dumbass, like a dumbass or a bot, So
then they go extreme and blanket everything as a cheater, and then that's the only other way around it, So speaking of that, I guess Conan Funcom had some problems. They had to launch the patch. They didn't have the DRM set up, and they're having some problems with piracy. The first couple weeks that the game's out, but they've made their development costs back already. Supposedly, selling 320,000 the first week. So.
Jeez.
Thug Hater says, "Count the PC died. His PC died last night already.
Wow,
that's not good. He just bought a PC from a friend, I guess, or
no,
that sucks.
Anything from friends ever.
Well, I told him to go to Zydex.com. He could use my affiliate link, and I'd make 20%. But anyway,
Zydex going to give us any money for that? Shout out. I hope so.
I'll have to.
We need to tag them in here.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to Thug Hater about that later on the in our little private Discord thing. So that sucks.
Speaking of things to talk about, if this is not good material for the podcast, please let me know. But guys,
it's not
podcast.
All right, fine. I'll leave. I'll just hang out.
Janser's in a bad mood tonight, man. Don't
I'm so not. I'm making a joke.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
But I wanted to know, since I've been busy and gone for a while, how did the Ship of Heroes thing go with the devs that we talked about before?
Oh, you could have messaged us at any point and asked us, because we talked about it on the podcast actually.
Last podcast,
yeah.
The one I missed?
Oh wait, you weren't here either for that.
Oh yes, I was at my mom's birthday. So.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do the show last week. You guys had Volts and Graham and Phil on.
Yep, it was a community cast. Thanks again to the community for stepping up to do that.
Boy, that Volts needs to really come out of his shell, huh?
Oh man, he just took over the intro and everything.
He just doesn't shut up, man.
He just took over. He was like, "Yeah, the B3 GamingCast."
Yeah, he's 40. Like, "Shut up, Janser, get out of the way."
I was like, "No, it's really." If you listen to the beginning, I was like, "What? Wait,
I know, I saw
that.
Taking
over?"
But then later on, you called him out on it, and then later on, like you ask him questions, he's like, "Yeah,
yep,
no, yep." Could you elaborate on that, Volts?
Hey, he doesn't have to. All right, when you're that good, you don't got to say what you need to. Yeah.
He's kind of shy guy. I mean, a little bit. He's coming out of his shell.
He's in the chat right now. You know this, right, Count?
Did I say anything bad about him? He's a cool dude, man. He voted for Donald Trump. I mean, I love the guy, man. So
he's gonna be.
I have no problem with him. Did I say anything negative about him, Tron?
So real quick, it was Conan Exiles. It didn't release with DRM, so it was getting.
Then they patched it.
Hacked.
Well, they had the BattleEye. I guess they had the BattleEye cheat enable, cheat stopper. I don't even know how that shit works.
There was a patch out today where they're re-enabling that because they had actually removed that BattleEye system from the servers.
Exactly.
So they re-enabled it because
People
were hacking into.
They were hacking the fuck out of it.
The admin password number one.
So, right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of the thing. It doesn't seem like it's hurt the game though. The game's still.
Wait, quick question. How
You know.
does hacking really affect Conan? I mean,
Well,
there's
it
nothing
would
really
on
you
the
can...
P. I mean, just like the H1Z1 or something like that. That's more for like the PvP type, like a competitive type server. You know what I mean? But I'm not interested in that. Where the PvE is fine in that game for me. It's good enough, and I can't wait till they come out with the new patches that bring in the magic aspect of the game and I guess they're going to do some really epic open world bosses, shit like that. They've got a couple like decent size bosses that you can encounter, like if you go exploring into some of the caves and the dungeons. One of them was glitched, like the big skeleton dragon was glitched. You couldn't kill it and shit like that. So
Oh.
yeah, it had like unlimited health points. So
Was this like a glitch for the entirety of the game, or just in your server, that specific instance?
I think it was the entirety of the game. But
Oh.
they took care. They also broke the game where you couldn't. You have your canteens, your little water baskets that you can store water in, and nobody could fill them up from like the streams and the lakes and everything. But they fixed that as well. We built a well in our base, so it didn't really matter. We've got a well. We've got endless water supply now. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna take that comment like how does hacking affect it as like just a prompt to move conversation forward. I mean, clearly you know how it does. It ruins a gaming community.
Yeah.
You can't build a community of hackers who are coming into your server and screwing up your stuff. I
well,
know
to
you were just pushing it forward. Yeah.
I'm pushing it forward, but also because of the type of game it is. Like, I can understand hacking in a more competitive game, like, say, Overwatch, for example, with aimbotting, because you want your team to win so you can get up on the leaderboards, get exclusive rewards and stuff like that, if you hack and cheat. But if you hack and cheat in Conan, I mean, it's an open world game, like, nothing's really permanent, like, you have your
then
saves.
I'm going
and
to
you have
take
your
it as, like, you don't see how it could affect it because it's not a game you really care too much about. Because I know, I mean, I've watched so many of your videos, I kind of have an idea of how much you care about video games. So if you really put your mind to it, I know you would see like how it would ruin a video game. Imagine if you're doing Frontier Defense in Titanfall, the original. It's not competitive. It's mostly for fun. Yeah, you can, but what if a dude's going in there and hacking and, it just ruins
you still don't
it
want
for
a guy in there like God mode that can't be hurt or something like that. It just takes
You don't
away
wanna play
from
the
the game. I mean, any kind of thing outside of that's going to take away from the game experience.
Okay, so so that's what people are doing in Conan. They're making themselves invincible so they can like kill the other players. Okay.
They're griefing. I guess they built a huge wall that kept people from even accessing.
Griefing and trolling.
Then I just don't get hackers because you're not gaining anything out of it. Like,
well, I mean, they get to rub their hands together and I mean, it's made somebody else's gaming experience miserable.
Wow,
I feel better about myself now.
That's like really
you know how
pathetic.
people are.
Yeah, but that's a very well-known thing. It's not.
Yeah, people don't need an excuse to be.
Well, you saw in games like The Division, I understood the griefing and trolling because you were getting reward out of it. You were getting XP and credits and loot out of the griefing and trolling. In Conan, like, that's just, I will never understand those kinds of people. It's so weird.
What griefing in The Division?
Oh, like just killing people, being cheap and cheesy, hacking, that sort of thing. Sorry if I'm not used to these terms. Sorry if I'm misusing them.
No, people hacking in The Division is still the same thing. There's and honestly, the byproduct is you're getting stuff of it, but they don't care, dude. They don't care. They would be doing it regardless, That's the whole point of it, is to ruin somebody else's day. So they can,
Oh man, that's really pathetic. Damn it! I'm trying to look at it from
internet and gaming.
I'm looking at it from a logical perspective, like when someone would do this. But
logic.
Okay,
yeah, you're new to games. Then you're trying to use logic, not on gamers. How dare you? Yeah.
I mean, why would somebody, say in an MMO, waste their time when they could be playing the game? Go to like a base hub and block the doorway and just have their characters sit there for hours and hours just to see people frustrated where they couldn't get into the next room of the hub because they sit there and block the door. They've had that in MMOs since MMOs started,
And that's just real. That's kind of sad, really. That's just sad. Like, how low are you in life? Like, how shit is your life that's the only way you find amusement?
You are sheltered, my friend.
Now I feel no. I think what he's doing is just rubbing it in, and I approve.
I know.
I approve. He's just being a jerk to them. Normally, I do those kinds of things too. So like rubbing it in. So, Conan. So Conan.
They've had that on ESO, and they had a big mess with people griefing on Elder Scrolls Online on the console when it first came out. It was crazy.
Yeah. I'm just gonna title this "Why Is Griefing."
Speaking of Elder Scrolls count, I don't know if either of you are still playing it, but I heard recently that it's getting another big update soon.
Oh yeah, a while back they released the whole thing about the housing, but also Morrowind. Excuse me.
Morrowind, that was it, like a whole new region or something.
Yep.
So
they're bringing in,
Elder Scroll nerds are gonna be all over that.
Oh hell yeah! I haven't played. Like I said, I got my fill of that game on the console when I played when I first got the game, and we had 7 or 8 people playing it at a time, and I just didn't feel like going through all that again.
Yeah,
I love the game though. I think it's such an underrated game. There's no doubt.
I think it probably came into its own a little too late, but those people that were,
because it had a disastrous start. It had an absolute disastrous start.
Absolutely, one of the worst for an MMO.
One of the worst.
I mean, it was just, and rightly so, because they were all. It was horror. It was a horrible launch.
Absolutely terrible launch. Yeah.
This is like what I say time and time again. The release date is important. You only get one release date, one first impression.
It wasn't the date that had anything to do with it. That
At
would be
least
more
an
like
MMO
a
can
Titanfall 2
recover.
issue.
I didn't mean. I'm sorry. When you only get one first impression. Sorry, I said date. You only get one release. You only get one first impression. Like, if you don't knock it out of the ballpark or get something mildly amusing, if you don't get somewhat of a positive reception at launch, it's going to plague your game. We've seen this time and time again.
Well,
even if the devs do everything they can to fix it, it's still going to have that negative first impressions follow it to the grave.
Yeah, it's not so black and white to where it's like, oh, that dire, but it can be. Look at Battleborn, I mean, ESO turned it around because otherwise those hardcore players would have quit a long time ago.
Well, you can turn around MMOs easier than you can other
Final
type
Fantasy
of games.
14, same right there.
They just rebuilt the game, and look at Evolve. Evolve was buried. So
well, that's what on the bad side of like what could happen. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the Division's kind of in the middle. I think it's like they had kind of a rocky launch with all the hacking, and then they got really they hammered down on people that were hacking, which gave everyone a bad taste. And then they were just going around making so many different variable changes, and they're still doing it. 1.6 coming out and everything like that. Yeah, I can go over that stuff whenever we have some time.
Sure.
But
speaking of Final Fantasy 14, I guess the DLC is like $10. The last DLC, I forget what it's called, Storm something. I can't believe I'm blanking out on it, but it's $10 right now on Steam. So I'm thinking about picking that up.
Oh,
That's
isn't
freaking
there
awesome.
like a sale going on? Like there's a Square Enix
Square
sale
Enix
on Steam.
has a huge sale going on Steam right now. Enix, yeah. Did I say Enix? Yeah.
No, I just said Squeenix.
Squeenix. I always call it Square Enix, and people are like Square Enix. So
I just like chopping it up and calling it Squeenix.
Yeah, Squeenix.
What does that sound like, Squeenix? It's like a cleaning product? Squeenix. Clean your toilets today.
Kid now, squid now. Yeah.
Oh.
Sounds like an infomercial.
Yeah.
Like an infomercial product or something.
So that's just the DLC. What about the core game? How much does that cost? Do you know?
I don't know. They do have a new. It's called Heaven's Ward. The new Storm.
Oh, yeah.
They have a new one coming out soon. I don't know if it's out yet, but I think you can pre-order it.
Okay, Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn is only $10 on Steam. It's 50% off right now.
Nice.
Yeah,
and that
game,
includes
man.
DLC.
Is it still a pay per month?
Yeah, it's a pay per month thing. But But it's good. The servers are nice. It's cross-platform. You can play with the console player. Yeah, it's a good game.
I played it for like a week, and then I was like, why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah, why?
I wasn't ready at that moment to re-enter into the world of MMOs. If I had done it like this fall, then yeah, probably.
Right.
But,
it is a good game. But...
Oddly enough, the one thing about Final Fantasy XIV that isn't on sale is its latest expansion, Stormblood. That's still $50.
Yeah, it's 40, isn't it?
Well,
yeah.
No, oh, that's 50 Canadian bucks for me.
Canadian.
It's because it's
conversion chart. Yep. Yeah, that's not going to be on sale anytime soon. So.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see, like, MMOs are in a real odd and yet very good place in gaming right now. People are craving brand new MMOs, they're cranking them out, and the current MMOs of today are getting wonderful support.
Yeah, I mean, World of Warcraft's kind of had a revision, you know.
What about that Marvel Heroes count? You've been on that a lot lately.
Yeah, I mean, well, for one, I
beast.
applied to be an official streamer of Marvel Heroes. I applied. They had a little thing, and they turned me down because they sent me a email saying that they reviewed some of my Marvel Heroes content, and I'm a little negative.
They actually bothered to respond to you.
Yeah,
though.
they responded to me.
So they actually bothered to look. I applied for something, and I got turned down for a Discord partnership.
Yeah, I saw you.
Somebody asked about it.
What does that mean, though? What's it mean to be a Discord
you
partner?
Get better. You get better, like sound quality and stuff like that. Options.
Really?
Yep. And then you get like a little badge and whatnot. They send you out like a stupid sweatshirt or something. For the record, I really like Discord. I really love. They're cool and everything. I think they're doing it right as a company, and I hope that they.
I agree 100%.
But
know? Fuck them for turning you down. I mean,
no. The numbers. Why? Okay, come on.
I'm kidding.
No. I. But seriously, like, just to push that a little bit more. Why the fuck would anyone fuck with a small streamer? Right. Community, whatever it is, it just doesn't make sense to them. Doesn't matter what the quality or what these people are on all the time, every day. It doesn't matter any of that. It's numbers. It's always just about numbers. So, and that's that's fine. And their rejection was even like they're all cute about everything. So their rejection was even like that too. Just like yeah, we're not seeing it in the cards or some bullshit like that. I don't know what it was, So I was like, I didn't think so, but yeah, give it a shot, right?
Oh, why not? Yeah.
Gotta take chances.
Sure.
Why not?
Exactly.
But yeah, Marvel Heroes, they're starting to actually come out with some new characters after the dust is kind of settling from the update a little bit. Some of the outrage. I still hold firm that I think it was a bad update, and the majority of the Marvel Heroes community still agrees. But I mean, come on, you made a point a couple weeks ago. It is a free-to-play game, so I'm not out. Even though I've probably put $500 into that game, maybe over the last 3 years. That's not a whole lot to put in a game. You know what I mean?
What? 500 isn't a lot, Count?
In 3 years.
Yeah,
I'm probably exaggerating that a little. It's probably more like about 400. So that's not a whole lot.
400 into Warframe, and I played it for
there you go.
3 years. 3 years.
And he played So
and I did a bunch of giveaways and all that kind of shit too. Yeah.
I probably put 2,000 to 3,000 in DC at least. Talking about the monthly subscription and buying this, that, and the other thing. I mean, I would buy everything on the marketplace in that game for a while, So I spent a lot of money on that game. There's times where I dropped down $100 just for replay badges, but Marvel Heroes, I might have spent $350, $400, and I got my money's worth. The characters are usually about $16-17 when they come out. But they have a couple characters that are kind of sparking my interest, so I've kind of been on the test server testing them out. But
gotcha.
I don't know. I might try to be a little bit more positive and start streaming that a little bit more, like on a serious level.
I don't think you got to be positive, but if you're straightforward, that's a different story. If you rant on them like, man, fuck this shit, then they're going to be like, all right, okay.
I didn't really rant during my live stream. I ran it during the B3 GamingCast, but I didn't rant during the live stream.
I don't think they would look at this for your content.
No.
So,
They,
yeah,
But anyway, they also said that they wanted someone that streamed only Marvel Heroes, basically.
Well, that's honestly, that's bullshit garbage. Not even Warframe requires their official channels to be only the content. They want the majority to be, but not only. That's stupid. Come on.
Well, there are a couple guys
that
what, only stream Marvel Heroes.
And make count. This is my deal tomorrow. Who produces that? Is it
Gazillion?
Gazillion. Million. Yeah. We'll drop them down to a million.
Bazillion.
Nah, just a million. Get a million.
Just a million.
Yeah. So you may count an official streamer, but pay him a fucking wage then if you don't want him to do any other content.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
The fuck, man?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Jesus Christ.
But they did say they would retweet. They're always good about retweeting if you put on Twitter that if you hashtag them or, if you mention them in their tweet, they will retweet you when you stream.
Fair enough.
That's cool.
I've been able to cover a lot of like open access, early access, open or closed beta games lately.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said is actually really cool because I find it really fucking hard for these people that are giving me games for free to fucking just retweet my goddamn video. It's like, why are you giving me these goddamn games if you don't want the coverage to be out there?
Exactly.
And I'm not like shitting on their game or anything, So, on the other hand, I just got I was contacted by Dropzone.
Yes,
I saw that.
Yeah, the developers are actually Sparkypants. I don't remember who. Sparkypants. I don't remember who the actual that's why I brought it up.
That is the greatest fucking name for a developer.
I know, right?
Well, I don't remember who the producer is, but that's probably the one that's actually did all the reaching out.
See, I'll probably buy that game just for the developer name, Sparkypants. They deserve a little bit of money. I like that.
Well, they contacted me at my Janzer247 Gmail, so I was like, wow.
Janzer,
really
sorry
cool.
to interrupt you. Just want to let you know the publisher of the game is Gameforge. That's who you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Sparkypants
is
the dev.
It up. I wasn't thinking of anything.
Oh,
I was
okay.
looking it up. Okay,
well,
so
Gameforge, that kind of sucks.
I guess that they're doing the reaching out and everything. So, yeah, they actually reached out and they were like, hey, we'll give you the game plus like a $20, here's all this extra content, basically. And it turns out it's like the full package of anything they would be selling for early access. So to clarify there, it's not in beta, it's not in any of that. It's in early access mode right now. And the only reason why they're offering it sale, it's kind of weird. It's going to be free to play, but right now, if you want to get into the early access, you have to pay.
You have to pay.
It's an
they're trying to recoup.
Exclusive. Yeah,
they're trying to recoup some development costs.
I think it's multifold.
It's like a Kickstarter. Yeah.
One thing is like they want to see interest levels. If you can't get anybody to buy it at that level, if nobody's that interested in buying it, then you got a problem. Like I was working on a not Kickstarter, working on a Patreon page for myself. But then I looked at Comics Explained. I think that's the channel on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
that guy does a pretty damn good job of explaining stuff.
Yeah, he does really well.
Yeah, he's a super nerd, and it was awesome. I was like, man, these are great. I catch up on shit that I don't even know about,
Yep.
And then I checked out his Patreon, $30 a month.
Nothing.
He's got 600,000 or whatever. I was like, oh, fuck my life.
Very
I'm not going to get a
little.
goddamn pay. Like, I feel I'm doing a lot with the streaming, with the podcast itself, whatever, and then modding for, 7 Days to Die and whatever else I'm doing, right? I'm like, well, that's for the community. I think we could recoup some costs, for like, hosting the podcast and all that stuff and whatever it is, any costs like that. Then I was like, wait a second. Nobody's going to fucking donate anything. If this guy with 600 no, because what you're doing is you're then taking the poop that you pooped out and putting it back into your mouth. GamerTron, that's a circle of like there's no I don't need the money. It's more of that's what Patreon is for. It's about like need.
Right.
It's about like, hey, would you help? That's what a patron is with these creative projects. I'm like, if this guy can't get any fucking money, fuck that.
Well,
why? How?
To be honest, Patreon and Kickstarter and those cyber funding sites right now kind of have a bad stigma to them. the whole e-begging thing that people think.
No, I think that those people, like in YouTube comments, are just a bunch of dumb cunts. Because
Yes.
a lot of the time, they're from people that they don't have any money anyways. And they're like, well, you go and ask, I was like, are you even liking this video? Are you sharing this video? How are you showing you support this creator anyways? No,
Right.
you're just a whiny bitch. That's what you are. So get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here.
But you have
Speaking of
people
which-
that have been abusing the Patreon. You got Biblical Reaper. There we go. I got my Biblical
Well, then you
Reaper
got
in.
other
Oh,
people
God
like
damn.
this wonderful blonde woman with a huge rack that was like sending out pictures, sexy style. Anytime people were hitting a certain level, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, nudes it. Like part of one chick's Patreon was nude pictures. If she gets a certain amount, she sends out
Well,
like private nude pictures. That's
She
just
didn't.
fucking,
This one didn't say
that's
nude
cringy.
because I think that they can't. But I know she said, they said something like, whatever. So they can. There's a limit,
Pictures,
otherwise it
wink,
becomes
wink.
Porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
super skimpy cosplay or whatever,
Then you have dumb bitches
And,
like Zoe
and
Berger.
that woman that I'm talking about, she was
Yeah.
making more money than Jim motherfucking Sterling.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. So Sterling,
Wow.
start showing those double D's you got in there.
Oh,
we know you got
God,
Lord.
no,
We know they're big.
They're gonna
please,
shut his
why would
channel
you-
down.
No.
We know they're big.
God, no! Oh,
Yes.
see,
Digital
I don't
Homicide.
need that image.
Digital Homicide
Oh.
would have the
Put
last
some
laugh.
boglins on the nipples and make them
No,
dance. Make them fight.
Shut up! Shut up! What are you doing?
Swing them back and forth like udders.
Speaking of Jim Sterling, what about the lawsuit thing with Digital Homicide? That's coming back.
What is
They've-
going on with that?
He refiled. They refiled for one. They were started. The Digital Homicide developer tried to sue the Valve customers for negative reviews. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? But I guess he was told to reword the lawsuit and then he could reissue it. So I guess he did. So I guess Jim Sterling is having to fly to Arizona eventually to fight it or something in a court.
I guess
and
if he has
the guy
to be
is
there, he could always just send a lawyer.
he's donating. I guess the developer of Digital Homicide is contributing to Jim Sterling's Patreon $1 a month.
So clearly the guy's a fucking troll.
Well, clearly,
he just needs attention. So somehow he got into the gaming development, but apparently he's just a little bitch.
But here's the thing: how much can you suspend reality? If you're that developer, your game sucks. Okay, don't act like they're going out on a limb like it's
This is
above
just
all.
so he doesn't disappear.
Yeah, it's like, I can't believe that they're saying this about my fucking my asset bought, rehashed game that he fucking Google searched blood splatter images. Like it's so far out that some YouTube critic is going to bash my fucking game. You know what I mean?
Man, this is the biggest thing that's ever happened to that guy. Why would he want it to stop?
If I made a crappy game and put it on Steam and
You've
sold
talked
it for,
about it.
I want to. I just don't. I know
You don't wanna
me.
do the
I know
work.
it'll never happen. But say I made a game, a crappy game. I mean, we're talking about a crappy fucking game, and put it on Steam and sold it for $5 to $10. I would love a YouTuber to come along and bash my shit. That would be so fucking epic, dude. I would go along right with it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, jeez.
So, do you know if, speaking of that, if Steam Greenlight has officially gone away already? Because I already talked about
I think
it
they
leaving.
have.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's already gone. So that's
they're
gonna,
going to do Steam Direct or
Right.
something, some new.
Yeah, you got to pay a fee in order
Yeah.
to get your game. Yeah.
Yep,
pimp-
Steam
pimp your-
Greenlight
pimp your
is
game.
absolutely gone. I can't see
Yep.
it in the Steam store anywhere.
Yeah. Okay,
It's
so,
about time.
I already talked about it on just a recent podcast.
Yeah.
But I was like, did it actually go away? Apparently, it did. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I know
gone.
there's another small developer that was like offering up to money for other developers that can't bring up the money. Basic kind of like a goodwill thing. It was like, all right,
Yeah.
we'll pay your fee, and we won't ask anything if it doesn't go anywhere. But if it does, we'll ask for money back in order to, kind of keep this kind of circle jerk going or whatever. The problem is that just lends, I guess it should be okay because then they can filter. Being developers, they can say, what the fuck you doing here? what are you doing? We're not going to back this game and put you on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They can tell when something's an asset reused easily. Anybody could, but the problem with Steam Greenlight was the whole thing about like, we'll just let the community deal with it. But then they didn't, Valve didn't actually deal with it themselves. So,
Exactly. And you got what you kind of remember about the online communities is like what you said, those trolls who
marketers.
upvoted.
Marketers, sir. The marketing groups that would basically say, hey, Tron, be part of this group and vote for this game. If you do, I'll give you keys to 10 other games.
Oh, yes, I remember that. I fucking remember that.
Yep.
That was a thing with Greenlight.
Yeah. That was a thing. Yep.
So it's a mix between trolls, like stupid trolls, like, I'm going to get this stupid game up there. the game developer himself and making who knows how many counts in order to vote. And then, of course, paying a fee to those marketing, quote-unquote marketing companies in order to get those games voted up.
I mean, somebody had a Simpsons game and it didn't have the rights.
Oh, yeah.
And fucking it got in. I mean, oh, my God.
It's garbage.
Oh, man. It was
absolute garbage.
It was about time. Like, it was a good gesture from Steam at the beginning, but it slowly devolved into hell.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like they function on ideals. Because have you read about how their gaming company, how Valve functions as far as management's concerned?
I might have seen an article about that, but please do continue.
It's basically kind of like a flat management is what they refer to it as function, meaning everybody's at the same level, and everybody contributes to whatever project they feel the community wants to see the most. So whatever they're going to get, whatever's going to give them the most return from the community, like let's say something for Counter-Strike needs to be worked on, that X many people will say, okay, I'm going to work on that, because they don't work based on budgets. They work based on people's time, which is actually ideally really cool. Realistically, you always need management.
Exactly.
Always. It just is a fact of life. So, yeah, I think they function on ideals, and I think Gabe, being the company that it is, it's a huge company. You don't want to have to day-to-day do every goddamn thing or have to be approval process for everything. So instead, it's like, oh, it worked for our company. Let's let it work for our product too. So,
to be fair, though, like they're friggin' millionaires. They don't need to worry about a goddamn
some of them
thing.
are. Yeah.
True.
I guarantee you have some mooks in there that are working there and just glad to be there.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
How do you even work at Valve? Jeez, how do you even apply?
You have to go through Gabe's escapade process or something. Who knows?
No idea.
You have to develop Half-Life 3, and then and then it never launches, and then you have to live with that secret forever.
Oh man, that would be some form of torture right there. Damn.
Would it, or would signing a contract stating that you have to sleep with the Gabe Newell full body pillow and hug it every night with his face facing you? Would that be some torture? Oh, and there's cameras in your house, so he always knows.
Oh man. Oh, Game Newell, please don't shut down our podcast.
Please shut it down. It would be the best thing for us. We'd be in the headlines.
Yeah, a lawsuit, or
oh man,
Janzer's got to fly out to Arizona.
Fine. I couldn't afford the fee, so I wouldn't be going.
Yeah,
anywhere.
we'd have. Yeah, I'd have to pass the bar. I'd have to pass the bar exam real quick, and
I'd be Rocky and Rocky 4, right? Is that what it was? Sue me for what?
Oh, man.
Let's forget about Rocky 4. Didn't he
only in America?
Rocky 4 was a dream or something that was like.
Oh
no, that's Rocky 5. Rocky 4 was actually
5?
good. Yeah,
4?
Rocky 4 was Ivan Drago. Rocky 5 was
it's 5
where he was broke and he went back to the old.
Sue me for what? Yeah.
Started wearing the old hat and had brain damage and shit. Yeah.
Actually, the proof is it wouldn't even be cameras. It would actually be Gabe inside the body pillow. Anyways, I think I've derailed that enough.
Oh, okay. Well, Janzer, earlier you mentioned... Oh, there goes my microphone. Earlier you mentioned the developers of the game Dropzone contacting you. You did a live stream earlier this week on Dropzone. If you would be so kind as to fill us in on What you think of the game? How is the game?
Yeah, everybody go Janzer247 on YouTube. Check out the video. But it's very StarCrafty as far as the look is concerned, the aesthetics, like the little mechs. Basically, the game is you play these 3 little mechs, and you square off against one opponent who's got 3 mechs. Whether it's the AI or their actual focus is on PvP. So they say that they want to do a lot of PvE content, but right now, if you read, and I read extensively about how they function and all that, their main focus and their biggest thing that they want is PvP. So regardless of any PvE talk that they talk about, it's mostly focused on PvP. So like they will do things like they require that 2 employees square off during lunch while everyone else plays. I'm not even kidding. This is like, fucking 2-man enter, 1-man leave kind of thing at their company.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is they're like, we're all about like getting the code into the getting the product into the hands of the gamers, because we can play all day long. Doesn't matter. We want to hear what's going on so we can get the feedback, so it's basically, you're in space, you're in these mechs, you're little people in the mechs. It doesn't really matter. They all have very good character to them. Each of the mechs has all these different like abilities. So what they've done is they've taken an RTS and taken a MOBA, and they've kind of combined it. Each of the matches lasts no more than 15 minutes, so they're trying to cut down on the time that it would take for a MOBA to play, for example. Because even with something like Paragon, and I mentioned this in the video too, even with something like Paragon, which is pretty action-oriented, right? That can last up to 30 minutes easily,
Those are long matches.
Well, and they're cut down from the hour that they used to be.
Right.
So, so 30 minutes is like, people expect that in order to get up to full power. You could play shorter matches, but, they don't always want to either. But they really want to focus on short matches, keeping the action very intense. The maps are kind of small. You go out, you get these cores, you take them back. It's kind of like basketball, whatever. Get the ball, put it in the hoop. And then you have other people trying to mess with you, trying to stop you. And then there's AI aliens on the little planet or whatever platform that you're on as well, to try to like kill and take their cores from. So it's kind of like a 3-way combat. You're fighting the other player, and you're fighting an alien. Aliens fighting both players. So and
this reminds me actually a lot of like Titanfall 2's Bounty Hunt mode, where you have the 2 enemy teams and you have a third faction of enemy AI. Don't you remember, Count, the Bounty Hunt?
That's about as far as the comparisons go.
Well, How's that a stretch? It's a rare thing.
In essence,
yeah.
It's
like you're trying to
thing.
sell Titanfall 2 or something right now.
He's got Titanfall 2 on the brain.
No, I'm just saying that's a game mode I like to see more of, where it's player versus AI, where they have
PvE, which is something that the Division tries to do but doesn't always succeed in with the Dark Sun, So but derailing from talking about Dropzone and getting back to it, it's basically an RTS MOBA-ish, and MOBA people call it an RTS, and RTS people call it a MOBA. So that's where the developer says, perfect, that's exactly where we want to be. There's some viewpoints of like, well, people are not going to drop their MOBAs and try to learn this game, they want it to be competitive, of course. People are not going to drop there. And I agree. There's a lot of people that are set in their ways that have no interest in going to another game and attempting to learn it. Now, the thing is, I'm like what you would refer to as a variety gamer, variety streamer. I think a lot of gamers... I can't speak for a lot of gamers, actually. I really can't. Some people actually really like only one game or one type of game, and that's all they're going to play. But at some point along, I was like, no, I want to play racing games, and I got into all the, Gran Turismo games or whatever, and then I was like, no, I want to play RTSs, play RTS. Oh, I want to play story-based game. No, I want to play whatever action and adventure. So there's no anything that I do well. There's just a bunch of games that I play, and this game is pretty cool. It's pretty fun. There's a lot of characters, like I said, a lot of little systems to learn there. They are going to be free to play, and so they've got an in-game currency and an external currency that you can purchase as well. And everything is purchasing stuff like little upgrades for your little mechs, basically kind of like abilities or whatever. So whether that borderlines onto pay to win, I have no idea. I haven't played enough of the game to see if those abilities really, become the one all be all. But if they are going to be competitive, that means crap loads of balancing is going to be coming up. They're just going to be constantly balancing is what that means. That's all that means. So especially for MOBA, you're just continually rebalancing the game, and the game's continually changing. So for people that don't like games to change, because you like exactly what it is and you don't want it to ever change, MOBAs are probably not the best thing for you. So
there you go.
Anything competitive is probably not the best thing, because they're always trying to they're always trying to scale things back to bring everybody back down. And then sometimes they push something up a little bit just to see what it's going to do to screw with people. And then they bring it back down. So as far as power is concerned, but yeah, it's real kind of like cutesy almost in a way. This, the art style is very comic booky, actually. A lot of the characters are all drawn, like their cut scenes and their abilities are all, they look like comic book character type, style drawing, like maybe from like the 90s or something like that, back before comics turned into utter garbage as they are now. So yeah, I definitely recommend taking a look at it, and I'll definitely be playing a little bit more of it. That's all I got to say about it now, unless you have any other specific questions. I don't want to keep talking about it.
No problem. Just wanted to hear what you say. And you've convinced me through your video to pick it up. I am going to pick up Dropzone eventually.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, though, how they're going to handle it when it goes free to play, because right now it's a pay to play model. You have a regular edition and a special edition. If you get the special edition, you get like all the pilots, all the mechs right now, and all the future pilots and mechs that they will add on eventually later. I'm curious, like, what kind of progression system they're going to implement in order for you to get more pilots and mechs if you don't get the special edition.
Yeah, you missed that part of the video, and also part of what I was saying now is there is an in-game currency and there's an external currency.
Yeah, I know there's in-game currency.
I didn't say it right now, but in the video I definitely did. When you play matches, you gain currency. Now the external currency is feds. The in-game currency is called something else that I can't quite remember, but you get it when you play matches. Like I got some, and I was able to unlock like 4 crates. So they're doing that whole crate system. This Paragon does exactly the same thing. It's the exact same type of thing, external and internal currency. So they do also, apparently, when I was opening boxes, they had seasons like spring and fall and, whatever, spring, summer, fall. And those 3 crates were still available. Each one of them seemed to have like a variety of different abilities that you could RNG your way into, I guess. Like, you open it and it's, I got one of these things that was in that. So I guess you can pick whatever season that you hope that you're going to get an ability out of. I don't really care for that kind of stuff. But as far as the captains or the commanders, those, you purchase with either external or in-game currency, and you can win that, So as far as new content, I would imagine something like Rainbow Six Siege or Paragon, same game model, same type of model. Something comes out, it costs this much. There you go. Either buy it or play matches and get it,
Okay.
So, although Rainbow Six
But like
Siege
you
is
said,
the
they're
only
testing the waters.
Oh, yeah, right now.
Testing the waters a little bit.
Yeah, so I really am trying to kind of push away from the whole idea that, if you want to get early access now, you can. That is one more thing I did not mention. Early access, in the case of this developer, doesn't mean a goddamn thing. This is a super polished video game. These developers, apparently they used to do, I think, Age of Empires, I believe.
Oh, okay.
They know what the hell they are doing. The game is solid. It is tight. Everything is clean. Like everything functions really well. The user interface is laid out really well. They have really good little tutorial system there. Unlike a lot, I'd say 99.99999% of early access games do not have. A lot of those games haven't even gotten up to that level because they're just trying to get the game to fucking function. These guys, they pretty much, it's like the whole Ghost Recon Wildlands being closed beta. Get the fuck out of here. No, the game's done pretty much, And this, I would say I would argue the same thing for this. Function wise, I think the game is pretty damn solid, and I really don't know what they're going to keep changing other than just balancing out stuff or maybe adding new features, But that's about all I got on that.
Awesome. I'm glad you brought up the Ghost Recon Wildlands beta, because the open beta is coming out on the 23rd this month.
Yep. Yeah, I have that here.
Yep.
Preload is on the 21st. So you
Oh,
can start
sweet.
preloading it on the 21st.
Well,
I will absolutely.
Are you guys
playing that.
getting? You guys will be getting the game.
Oh, I'll be getting it at some point.
I'll try
Probably
out
at
the
launch.
open beta. Janzer said a lot of positive things, and I watched his video, and it like just the fun he was having. It's like I'm
Be very
I'm seeing
wary
my-
about that whenever you watch videos. Remember, everybody's tastes are different. But if
Exactly,
it looked like good fun
exactly.
to you, then sure, yeah. But
Yeah. That's why I want to try out the open beta before I do anything. So I'm definitely going to try out the beta. One thing I have noticed, though, and I saw this in Dogman Dan's video, he showed this off, is how graphically impressive the game is. Like, he showed off, like, the graphics options in his video, so shout out to Dogman Dan, check out his video. He actually does a very in-depth review that I was very impressed by.
Thanks for
And he
shitting on my video.
What?
Low key shitting all over mine.
What,
He actually
yeah,
did. He
Janzer's
actually did a
wasn't good
very
enough.
impressive look at it.
I
Look, I skipped all the options for it. You know why? And I said it before because the game, and I got to give props to Ubi. Look at For Honor. The game just fucking works beautifully.
Yes!
It just works. When can you say that about PC games nowadays?
I know, right? Like,
Especially
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Yeah, I know. They've done a total 180. I'll talk about For Honor later on
Go
the
ahead,
podcast.
though.
But I
Dogman
was
Dan's
not.
video. Got it.
Yeah, I was not shitting on your video, man. Your video
I'm
was.
fucking with you.
But yeah, in his video, he showed off how I've never seen another game do this, where in the graphics menu, it shows you in specific detail the low, high, and medium versions and how it will look in game. That looked fucking awesome. I kind of want to get the game just for that, and the character customization, because I saw, Janzer, in your video, you showed off the character customization, and I'm like, with that awesome graphics menu, the in-depth character customization that lets you, like, even though you can't change your character's face, the way you can change their fucking clothing, make yourself look like a badass mercenary,
Right.
like,
Yeah,
There's a
I
lot
also
that's,
tweeted
find
out
appealing.
like late at night. I was like, Ubi, what the hell, dude? And I mentioned in Dropzone too. Dropzone did something which is nice. They gave a range of like characters. I know this is not y'all's thing and I don't make it a thing, but it's a part of my fucking life, all right? So I was up late and I was like, hey, shout out to Spiders and the Technomancer for giving a few wheat bread options on there. I was like, Ubi, yeah, Ghost Recon Wildlands. We got a lot of white bread options. You got one burnt toast. What's going on, man? Come on.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, you say oh no, but you know what? It's what I got to fucking deal with. And it's one of the things about like what I said. Why I play female characters. One of the reasons I play with y'all haven't been here, otherwise you would have heard. But one of the reasons is I can't make my own self.
Because you're a feminist.
If I'm gonna go ahead and make something, I'm gonna boot you out of the damn podcast count. I swear to God. If I'm gonna make like,
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me acknowledge my white privilege. Because I have more
I can't
character
talk shit about
customizations
shit,
than a
right? About
fucking
myself that I
Ubisoft
care
game.
about, but you can drop bombs about your hate for religion or whatever it is any day of the week.
Well, goddamn right. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, my
Well, you know
friend.
what? I don't do that kind of shit though. That's the whole thing.
I'm just fucking with you.
I'm just getting one simple thing out, and I can't. But I'll let you run, whatever you want, whenever you want.
Go
Shit.
ahead.
Jesus Christ. Let's move on.
but
I was
Janzer,
just
keep
messing
going. I
with
want to hear.
No, I'm done with that topic. Let's keep going.
Okay. Have you guys checked out all the new footage that was released for Prey this week? They showed off, the developers over at Arcane and Bethesda, they gave, like, all the games journalists, all the typical people, they let them play Prey for 1 hour. So if you want to see the first hour of the upcoming game Prey, just go on YouTube. The entire first hour is up. The entire opening of the game is up.
No,
And
I missed it.
I saw that.
Oh, you saw that? Okay,
Yeah.
Kim. And
I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw some of it.
Yeah, so I was very surprised by this, because usually game devs and Bethesda like to really hide their stories, not go into spoiler territory, that sort of thing. They did this with Doom and Dishonored, where they really didn't want to show off like the gameplay and the levels and that sort of thing, and we had to wait for like demos and betas. With Prey, I'm pretty sure other game devs have done this. It's just been a while since I've seen a AAA dev do this, where they just showed off the first hour, the entire first hour. So they're being very transparent about what you can expect from the game, which I really like. I really like this route Bethesda and Arcane are taking. We're like, hey, this is the game. They're being very very open about it. After like they got so much criticism for their new review policy, the fact that they're showing so much of the game, the entire opening hour, I think says something. Before I actually get into the gameplay and what was shown in the first hour, what do you guys think of this? Should more game devs do this? Like just show off the entire first hour of the game? Just like show it all to the people as advertisement? Do you think that's good advertisement? Just showing off the first hour?
I don't know if there needs to be a standard, and I just don't make shitty games. You don't need to show a goddamn entire hour, but don't No Man's Sky it. No, I mean you know what I'm talking about. Don't No Man's Sky it. Don't make a shitty game, and nobody's going to be pissed at you. No one needs to make a standard.
They have to know when their game
out there.
They have to know when their game sucks. Are they living in a cave where they don't see access to any other game in that genre? Like, you know, when they made Alien Colonial Marines, I hate to keep going back to that. Didn't they know that game sucked? I mean, who are they kidding? I mean, I don't know what footage they were showing of that game before that, but they've got to know.
The footage they were showing wasn't actually part of the game,
exactly.
Remember?
That's what I'm saying.
That was falsely advertised. Actually, Aliens Colonial Marines was kind of one of the first games to start off the whole...
this whole thing about falsifying your
gameplay footage and falsely marketing games. Like, No Man's Sky took it to a whole new level, but Aliens Colonial Marines kind of started it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Janzer says, though, it shouldn't be a standard. Like, now everybody needs to show an hour. Some people don't want to, like, you know, you can put out a little demo of the game maybe, but like kind of like what Resident Evil 7 did. But
yes,
they might have showed too much of that game before release. I don't know.
And I know that that's like an excuse or a reason, right? To like not put out a demo or not give out review copies because you don't want to ruin the game before it comes out for people. You want them to have the experience. But at the same time, too many bad things have happened to where you gotta kind of fucking show us what we're buying.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, the Surge, Deck 13, the developer for Lords of the Fallen. They put out 14 minutes of their game, The Surge, and the comments in there, please go look at the comments in this video. Please. They're like, garbage, worst game, that's horrible.
Oh my god.
We already got Dark Souls, why do we need this? Why do we need Neo then?
Janzer, I actually want to bring this up. One thing I've noticed, because I've started like taking tallies and really checking this out, kind of doing my own little social experiment. I've started to notice that the people who leave more negative comments, if you actually go to their YouTube profiles, they have their discussion page disabled and they have private messages disabled. So there's no way to actually contact them. So they like to talk shit in comment sections, but there's no way to actually contact them. They can literally talk shit on a video and not have a debate or a conversation or have someone say, hey, that's not true, or hey, maybe you're looking at this from the wrong point of view. It's literally shit post, leave, go to another video, shit post. That's what I've been noticing with the people who leave more negative comments. They like to talk shit, but they like to never get it back.
And that pisses me off because I can't strangle them with my hands.
Agreed.
You know, Count didn't trigger me, Volt. I'm triggered because of my management in this apartment complex. Like, I put it on Twitter. I got a fucking notice saying that I had to be out by today. It's goddamn
today.
Bullshit. Yeah, the 18th. Yeah, the 18th. Yep.
Oh, it is.
So, it's bullshit. It's a threat, and it's intended to like scare people based on ignorance. You know, ignorance towards the law. And just, you know, that kind of thing. So it's just kind of, you know, I had to go through all this shit of like I reported them Better Business Bureau. I fucking hit them up. Any communication channel I could. I found out their corporate like personal numbers, so I gave them some fun messages for the weekend because they're having a nice little weekend while they're threatening people right before the weekend and making themselves unavailable, right? What kind of scumbag shit is that? And it was over like apparently an electric cost of like $24.95. I just bought a goddamn pizza and had it delivered, and I paid $25 something for it. All right, you don't think that I could pay? Right? Well, you know, I pay $5 every time. I always pay extra $5. I never, you know, I always pay $5 for delivery. But And I got a soda with it too. It was large. It was a specialty with the soda, and I always give $5, man. You got to tip your driver, man. I could be that guy one day. All right. So, anyways,
now we're going to, before we get back to Prey, I now want to talk about Surge for a little bit because I brought up the video and these comments are fucking disgusting. And like I said, you check out the accounts of these people leaving negative comments. They have their discussion. There's no discussions page, and you have to go out of your way to disable this discussions page. So they went out of their way to make sure no one could leave them comments, and their private messages are disabled, so you can't leave the messages. And before I continue, Rackshaw in the chat. Raksha, I know what shit posting is. Sorry about the semantics. Sorry I misspoke. Sorry I said the wrong thing. I mean, someone can just leave a negative comment, and like these kind of people leaving negative comments, they leave negative comments, but they don't want anyone talking back to them. Right. They want to make their statement, and God forbid you have a debate or a conversation.
Right. They don't have anything. Or they don't respond to anything. Or if they do, there's nothing coming out of it because they're there just for the... They're just there to fuck things around, you know. That's
it doesn't make any sense why these are some of the top comments, why they have the most likes. Because the video itself, has more likes than dislikes. What the fuck?
Right. But that's just the YouTube system. It votes up anything that's like, you know, upvoted or more importantly, replied to.
What are they saying that's so bad about the Surge?
Well,
that's not even a game I really...
Here's the top comment, and this is so full of shit. There's a huge lack of impact in the attacks. It doesn't feel satisfying. That right there is a load of dog shit because you haven't played the game.
I know.
How can you know if there's a huge lack of impact? How do you know if it doesn't feel satisfying? The game's not out yet. You can't fucking play it, you fucking liar.
Well, that one I consider to be more subjective. I mean, you know, I don't really consider that one to be total shit posting. I do agree that they haven't played the game, so they don't really know. You know, it actually is different playing game than when you're like Mad Max, for example. Mad Max, would you say that it's very? To me, it's very visceral. To me, it's very. It feels like it's got some good connecting hit to it, but that's because of the animations. That's because of the sounds I talked about this a long time ago in Wolfenstein. You know. They do everything right visually and auditorially, so where you're like your brain is registering it as like, oh, that connected really hard, you know. Right. So this guy could have something right, and they could have a legit point. But I didn't feel that way. But whatever, that's just a comment. There were other ones that I think that were stupid. That were just like, why do we have this when we have Dark Souls? You know.
And this one, it looks boring as fuck. Yeah, you saw 14 minutes of gameplay. You think that represents the entire game?
The gameplay that's shown is the same type of gameplay that's shown in, like, Dark Souls.
Exactly.
So do you find that boring as fuck?
I know. And again, you check out this person's account, discussions disabled, private messages disabled.
Here's the thing. We don't have any space Dark Souls. God damn it, I want a space Dark Souls. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Oh my god, Dark Souls in space? Holy shit. Star Wars Dark Souls. Oh, man.
There was one shit posting there that was actually stupid because they were actually talking about what the game is actually supposed to be like, which is, they're like, oh, it looks like you just put a bunch of crap on yourself, whatever. That's actually right. One of the points of the game is that you take off pieces of robots and you put them on yourself.
Yeah.
So they're accurate. That you're supposed to look like a fucking dumb pieced together RoboCop.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You're trying to survive a robot apocalypse. You're going to scavenge whatever you can.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like there was this one old Sega game where you played robots and you was a side scroller and you could like take off their arms or heads or bodies and put them on yourself.
Oh shit.
Robo Justice, I think. Robot Justice. I'm not kidding. Notoriously hard game to play, by the way. Just super. Yeah, they think Dark Souls is hard. They don't fucking know what games were like. Games were brutal as fuck back in the day.
Oh, yeah, jeez, dude. Oh, man, I haven't played them, but I've seen gameplay footage, and some of these games look impossible. Super Mario Brothers 2? That thing? Or what? No, was it Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels, or whatever they called it? Something that... It was a Mario game that was ridiculously...
Two was an awkward, weird game. That was kind of more like an RPG-ish game. Yeah, it just, you could switch characters. It was like you weren't really always exactly clear on what you needed to do. And it got a bad rap way back in the day. And then later on, people were like, man, that was a really neat game. I really like that game. So...
when does this game come out? When does the Surge?
The Surge?
I'm looking for the...
Comes
Yeah,
out. They didn't really
Sometime
say
in
a
May.
date.
They didn't. Okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
sometime in May. Yeah, definitely. So it's coming out this year. I'll
it's like-
definitely be checking out Surge.
Well, it's like Lords of the Fallen, you know, that got a bad rap for being. It's not, by the way, the new Lords of the Fallen is not going to be made by Deck 13, and Deck 13 is like a German company. So
Oh,
yeah, it just they usually have pretty good, developers. So
just want to check something out quick.
Well, this game
Lords
looks
of the
interesting.
Fallen. Lords of the Fallen has mixed reviews on Steam.
Yeah.
But if I look at them, it's mostly positive. It has
yeah.
2,800 negative reviews, 4,500 positive reviews.
Well, it was as Graham likes to say, it was probably like in the 70s Metacritic, I bet.
Yeah.
So once again, it's actually probably a really good, like Mad Max. I think that was in the 70s Metacritic. So it's probably a really good game. It's just it wasn't heavy one way or heavy another way, and so therefore it didn't trigger people hard one way or another. Like in a good way. Like they're like, oh my god, that was so great, or oh my god, I hated that. Since
I hear
it was
ya.
kind of
I
like
hear ya.
just a pretty solid game. Then people
After
are like,
playing
eh.
Lords of the Fallen, though, I can tell you it is a good game. My biggest problem with the game is its story. It kind of like doesn't make sense. They kind of like threw it
For
together.
Honor?
But
What?
have you played For Honor?
I've heard about the story being about as loose as I thought it would be.
I'll talk about that later.
I've heard people that
Yeah.
have played it talk about it. So yeah.
Again, soon. Right now, we need to kind of backtrack to Prey soon. But about Lords of the Fallen. About Lords of the Fallen.
I've played that.
can
I
tell
have it
you-
on PS4.
Oh yeah. Did you like it, Count, when you played
It's
it?
all right. It's kind of clunky. It's a little clunky.
Well, that's kind of what they're going for. Since the thing of the game is,
Yeah, don't play Dark Souls.
You're strapped in big, heavy as fuck armor, and you're using giant ass weapons,
Right.
and you're
Ass
fighting,
weapons. It's like dragon
giant
dildos.
giant weapons. There. We'll remove the ass part of. Sorry for adding emphasis. And the boss battles. The thing about them, it's kind of like a dance, similar to Dark Souls, only a much slower dance, where your moves are easily telegraphed to your enemies, but your enemies' moves are easily telegraphed to you. So it's all about timing your attacks and trying to predict how your enemy's going to attack and how you're going to attack. And I really like that about Lords of the Fallen. And it just had some badass art design for its armor and characters. So I think you'd really dig Lords of the Fallen, Janser. I think you'd really dig the game.
Yeah, it looked. I know it got a really bad rap because you can't get away from it being called a Dark Souls-like, meaning like it was like a Dark Souls game. But that was the intended point.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Like,
did it do
games
it
are
well?
allowed to
It
be
actually
in the
did it pretty
same
well.
genre. Oh.
And the other thing is that most people said it probably played better than. I mean, Dark Souls. The love for that game. The problem is blinders go on when people are talking shit about it. But then when they talk shit about it, that's also the time when they're talking like how much they like what they like about it. Like it's such a weird game because it is clunky and broken in some ways, yet people will defend it to all hell and also give it shit for for everything as well. So yeah, it's a fanboy thing. Lords of the Fallen was fine, it was fine.
Oh, now going back
Yeah.
to Prey, like I was talking about earlier, we talked about the whole length of the game. Now the actual gameplay that was shown off in the whole hour that they let people play of Prey, what they showed off is, well, but what we've been saying this whole time, what everyone's been saying this whole time, Prey is a really good, so far, a really good looking amalgamation of games like Half-Life and BioShock and System Shock and Dishonored. It's one of those old school RPG adventure games. You have an inventory system, a finite amount of resources, this big open area to explore. There are secrets. There are secrets around every corner, and you need to get, like, kind of Metroidvania style. You need to get more gear and abilities in order to progress and get to new levels and find new secrets. The game's
I
looking
heard
pretty
it's going
good.
to have like a crap load of endings too.
Yes, I heard that too. That surprised the hell out of me. I was not expecting for the game to have multiple endings, but yeah, the game's going to have multiple endings.
Yeah.
So that just adds on to the replayability. Apparently, it's kind of like from what I understand, what they've revealed so far, the ending system's kind of going to be like Dark Souls, because depending on what characters you talk to, who you let live and die, and what certain items you collect throughout your playthrough will determine the ending. So now the game's up for some multiple playthroughs. Like, the game just looks better and better the more we see. Speaking of which, they showed off the AI for some of the enemies, specifically the mimics, the little shadowy spider head crab things. And it turns out that they have a unique AI system. When you play Prey and you replay Prey, the mimics are never going to be in the same place. There's never going to be the same number of mimics, and they're never going to disguise themselves as the same props in the environment. But they can disguise themselves as almost everything in the environment. Like a bunch of the games media journals were showing off that they can really be anything: chairs, coffee mugs, computers.
So
lamps.
That's cool.
Gary's mod, or what was that called? What's that?
Yeah, the prop hunt from Gary's mod.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here, unlike prop hunt, the props fight back, and they turn into demonic spider aliens that want to eat your face.
Yeah. Okay.
So far, again, everything so far to me, Prey's looking freaking awesome. The more I see of Prey, the more it just looks like it's got a great amount of polish. It's got a great amount of replayability and fantastic options to really play the game the way you want to play. But Count, you said you saw some of the footage too. I'd love to know what you think of the first
just a
few
little
minutes.
bit. I'm not real familiar with the game or anything like that, but yeah, it looked interesting. There's no doubt. Looking at the pre-order pack where you get the shotgun, the Margrave shotgun, that looks cool. That looks really cool.
It's tempting. It's tempting. You're also getting a bunch of resources at the beginning of the game, so you don't have to go scavenge immediately. You immediately have stuff to work with.
It's probably a game I'm going to check out. It might be one I pick up on release. Kind of interesting looking.
Definitely.
But I don't really have much to say about it. I watched just a little bit of that first hour gameplay trailer, and
No problem, man. No problem. Well, do you guys want me to keep going? Because I got some more game stories to talk about here if you'd like.
Sure. It might cross over with what I have. Go for it.
You haven't even talked about Resident Evil or For Honor yet.
Do you want me to? I can get into that right now if you'd like.
No, you do whatever, yeah.
Oh, okay, well, one more game story before I talk about that, because I found this very interesting and like to know what you guys think. Mass Effect Andromeda. I think everybody in the Be Free gaming community has said we're going to get that game. Like, everyone's kind of like said we're all getting Andromeda. Oh, you didn't? I know Count's getting it, and Phil's getting it.
Phil said he pre-ordered it, but he got a deal on it, and he was like, "Oh, I made a mistake, and I pre-ordered a game."
I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it! You actually pre-ordered a game."
Oh.
How dare you? He was acting like it was a bad thing to pre-order or something.
It is. You should never do it. But,
kind of, yeah.
I
get burnt.
Bad decisions. Look at the ones I pre-ordered. I pre-ordered the Technomancer, which came over. It came over as lukewarm to not really well, received, and then Warhammer 40,000, Space Hulk, Deathwing, and that came over to badly received to lukewarm.
Right.
So that shows that, even when I pre-order, I'm like, I'm doing it because of an emotional thing. It has nothing to do with how are you going to know, unless you're going Mass Effect Andromeda. I think most people can look at the gameplay there. Look, I just saw the combat.
You're pretty
for it.
safe. You're pretty safe pre-ordering that game. That game's going to be pretty good, I'd imagine.
Animations look smooth. This is their fourth round with this thing. If they don't know how to do it by now. It's like Just Cause 3. Well, those guys doing Mad Max, they didn't push the envelope there, I don't think. And so the game is fucking solid. Right. Whereas their Just Cause games are kind of a little quirky and fucked up because I think they try a lot more there.
Yes.
Anyways, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda. So, because I thought this news was interesting, and it's kind of like split the Mass Effect community in both ways because of this news. It turns out Mass Effect Andromeda is not going to be an open world game like everyone believed. It's going to have wide open areas, wide open levels, environments, but it's not going to be open world. It's not going to be.
It's going to be like Gears of War. It's not. Gears of War is an open world game.
It just has really large linear levels.
Right.
Is it going to have multiple worlds or just the one?
No, multiple worlds. There are multiple worlds, but they're not all going to be open world. It's not going to be people thought the game was going to be like Witcher. That it was going to have this one big open world.
Did they say that? Did the developers say that? I don't think they did.
The developers alluded to it. They've said multiple times that you're going to have these large, epic planets to explore, and when you say stuff like that, people assume open world. Yeah. Now BioWare has come out and stated the game is not open world.
So it's kind of hearkening back to what Mass Effect 1, where you had big open areas. They weren't probably as big as they're going to be here, I would imagine. But remember how you could drop down on a planet, you had a mission to do, and you would just kind of explore that mission area with your rover? I'm guessing it's going to be much bigger, you know?
That's kind of what they're going for. Like, there are going to be, of course, main story quests and side quests that you can complete, such as taking out enemy outposts, scouting for resources, that sort of thing's there. But they want to emphasize that this is not going to be, you're not going to be able to explore the entire planet.
So they're trying to make sure they're not No Man's Skying it.
Right,
exactly. And it's kind of have the Mass Effect community split two ways, because there was a portion of people that were really excited for Mass Effect to go open world and thought this game was going open world, while other people are going like, yeah, that's Mass Effect. Mass Effect's never been open world. We're cool with
right,
that.
Exactly. It's always been like Gears of War as far as the levels. I mean, I've never played it, but I've seen it being played. I don't understand why just because a developer says there's planets, there's huge planets and everything, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to explore everything. I mean, there's a level design to it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the other thing is, like, oh, well, you big babies. Who cares?
Yeah.
So it's not going to be open world.
Fucking who.
Oh, no. Yeah. Who cares? It's not going to be open world, so you're not getting anything more than you would have gotten, okay?
Just enjoy your fucking game, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, they put a lot of money into the game. I mean, just enjoy it. If you're a massive,
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the combat, I think that video came out either yesterday or today.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
It's amazing.
The animations alone, just like everything's working really well there. Because you can tell when there's stiff animations, the body of the characters doesn't move correctly, all that kind of crap. Whether or not you take note of it, like, at the top part of your mind, or whether it's subconscious, you take note of it. Your mind will look at it like that's jank as fuck. But it looks great. It looks really good. So,
yeah.
No, they're going to be fine. They're going to sell a lot of money.
Fuck yeah. That's going to be huge. Yeah.
Okay, so to be clear, you guys are perfectly okay that it's not open world.
I care less if it's open. If it's a good game, it's... Why get something set in your mind about a game that hasn't released? They haven't come out and exactly demonstrated the open worldness of it. So why would you have something set in your mind?
Thank you. That's what I was going to say, is that I don't care what all the hype is. You know what I care about? What the product is. Like when it's out.
Execution.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I can look at like, I could read all day about like what a coffee tastes like. I guarantee I'm not going to always taste whatever they're talking about on the fucking bag. Oh, it's got like citrus notes with strawberry. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It tastes like coffee to me. I mean, it's pretty good, but I don't know, maybe I'm missing that part of the brain that I once wrote a bunch of like, or not wrote, but copied into like a site. These two tasters, they were tasting not tequila, but they were tasting that other thing that's more kind of like natural.
Folgers?
No, it was a liquor. It's a liquor. But anyways, it's not tequila, but it's like the non-processed, like overly machine processed version of it. It's supposed to be really hard, like, but also, and they were like, oh, it tastes like, this one has like a bubblegum and rubber flavor. I was like, where are you coming up with this shit? Mezcal. There you go. Watusi knows. Mezcal.
Watusi, yeah.
Mezcal is what it is. It's stuff that's like, there's families that have for generations been making this stuff, and they do it real natural. They just don't use a lot of machines is all it comes down to. And so they kind of focus on the whole natural thing. And so with hipsters, that's like a fucking marriage right there.
Oh, Jesus.
So they market this stuff to like hipsters, like, oh, get the essence of Mexico in your mouth, It's like, wait, don't you just go to Tijuana for that? It was like,
yeah.
So
donkey show, but
right, yeah. So then one of them was like, it tastes like spring, and so I started making up my own because this was back when I was doing it at my company. I was like, it tastes like my dog's like asshole with the taste of summer rainbow and last week's garbage dumpster. Yeah, it's like what are they writing about? Some of these,
what I
hate?
hate? I hate pretentious wine tasting.
what it
I
is.
hate watching like, oh, he's a wine expert. Okay, he's experienced in wines, but then you watch him like
Does that mean
look
you
at
put a wine bottle up his ass? Or
the
what? I'm not
text.
sure.
Oh,
Experience
Jesus
in wines?
You know, and then they're looking at the texture, and then they swirl it around.
And I
in the
hear you
glass.
get a real
Get
good
the
high off of that. Like
It's like, get the fuck
alcohol's going
out of
straight to
here,
your
you,
system that way.
you pretentious bastards. Anyway,
Wine butt chugging.
Oh my God.
a wine enema.
It's experienced with wines.
I might have to try that.
Both holes. All right.
Oh my.
Or 3. I don't know. Well, anyways,
Oh.
you want to get it up the pee hole? Go ahead.
I don't. Oh my. Why? Why?
Because this kind of garbage I can deal with. That's why. All right. Because this kind of garbage, yeah, is garbage, and it's a hot burning dumpster of garbage, and that's fine.
Oh,
All right. So
Muscali.
no
I
opening.
haven't even heard of that. I'm super
Yeah.
ignorant about it. I don't even know what that is.
Mezcal. It's tequila,
Mezcal,
dude.
huh?
It's tequila with the hint of pretension. That's all. It's for hipsters. That's all it is.
With what the potatoes were grown in Chernobyl or some
Exactly,
shit,
right.
and then
Oh,
they
my God.
radiated
baby-
fucking potatoes.
A 16-year-old virgin went out there and stroked each leaf. Exactly. That's exactly what they're trying to go off of every day.
Oh my God. We're all dying
Oh
here.
shit!
You made me
my
do a
God.
spit take on
Sorry,
that.
Oh.
That's all right.
Jesus
but it's for that crowd, you know.
A
So
16-year-old virgin went out and
Yeah.
stroked the leaf.
yeah, that's right. With her vagina petals. That's true.
Oh God.
What?
All right, that's funny.
Okay,
All right, so Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, that
How
was.
did
From
we
all
go-
of that, we got this Mass
Wait,
Effect
how
Andromeda.
did we go from Mass Effect Andromeda to fucking... That's just the weirdest shit ever. That was funny.
I love you guys.
Don't. Why'd you ruin it? Let's move on. What is
Please,
the other
I
game
brought
you
it
had?
back from the
other
back.
game. The other game.
The other game.
Moving on.
Yeah,
No,
you
no.
had Mass Effect Andromeda and something else.
Yeah, I don't
For
think
Honor.
it was something.
For
Yeah,
Honor.
yeah, the games I played this week. So I played For Honor and Resident Evil 7. Before I get into For Honor, I'm gonna put a big old smile on Count's face.
Snap.
And
No, probably not. Go ahead.
so Count, everything you said about Resident Evil 7 was absolutely on point. Yesterday.
Well, I was going out on a limb there, too. Going against the grain of the gaming world. Really?
But dude, seriously, I was able to play the first few hours last night, and it's so engrossing. It's so goddamn engrossing. The environments are absolutely gorgeous, and it's kind of scary how lifelike they are. Literally, if you bump into a chair, you knock over a can, you hear the noise. It has such dynamic audio. I was scaring my fucking self because I kept running into the environment and knocking shit over. I'm like, the fuck was that?
Why didn't you
it's
stream it on a webcam, then? Why didn't you do a
Oh,
PewDiePie?
man.
I don't live stream late at night.
okay.
People, I live with my family. People
Oh, that's
sleep,
right.
and last thing they need is me
My bad.
screaming into a microphone.
My bad, I forgot.
No problem, man. But yeah, and the character models, like when you first see Mia and the Baker family, and eventually the molded, like
Oh, they're amazing.
The
Yeah.
intricate detail
Oh, yeah.
on their faces, on the hair. I forget. There's a word or a saying for something that's so lifelike it's scary. I forget what it was though. If anyone can remember, please let me know. But yeah, I was immediately engrossed.
Janet Reno.
It's
No? Oh, sorry.
Well, that's
I'm
scary.
sorry. What?
That was the final boss, Janser, Janet Reno. You didn't know that? I shouldn't say that. She died. Didn't she die recently?
Did she?
Go ahead.
Well, that's it. That makes it- that makes it-
I feel terrible
oh,
that I said that. I'm sorry.
well, a lot of people die in Resident Evil 7, so it connects.
Yeah.
We can transition. But yeah, the really cool thing about Resident Evil 7 is that it's so stingy with. I've never played a game where you have to value your resources like they are literally your life, because they
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Like everything is finite. There's no you can't get enemies don't drop resources, which I was hoping they drop resources. I thought this would be like Dead Space, where there's a store where you can buy stuff and enemies drop resources, so
Nope.
you don't have to worry about running out of ammo or anything like that. Fucking nope. Every single bullet is valuable. And so-
Inventory management is like key to the game. I mean, there's a strategy for the
That's
inventory
always been
management.
that kind of game. Inventory management. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, there's this there's this chemical that you can combine with herbs and gunpowder to make more bullets and medicine for yourself. And every time I get more chemicals, I'm like, fuck! Do I make more medicine?
Yeah,
or more bullets?
I never knew which one to do at a certain time because there's certain times in the story where you're going to need one. You're going to need more of one thing than the other, and you have to kind of replay it to figure it out. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Like I've never played a game where the inventory management stressed me out. And I've played Division and Skyrim. I've played so many games with very cluttered inventory systems. But with Resident Evil 7, I'm like, oh god, what do I take? What do I get rid of?
Yep.
Well, if you played more JRPGs, you would probably understand that. Like that's what old school JRPGs were really about. It's like, what inventory do you keep on them? That's where really bad habits, like keeping every one of everything, started to develop. You a lot of bad habits.
You can't do that in this game, though. You can't keep. Yeah. You have a very limited amount of slots,
but that's Resident Evil par for the course. It's always been like that with those games.
But this game, you're going to be screwed. Like, there's a couple times where I just had to restart the level because I screwed my inventory and I just ran out of bullets, and you're fucked. Or I took too many med kits when I made too many med kits when I should have made more ammo, and had to redo it because I screwed myself. And that's exactly what Tron's saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've never played a game like this. Again, I've only played like Resident Evil 5 and 6. Yeah. I played a bit of 4. I've only played the more action-packed Resident Evils where inventory management wasn't the biggest deal because you were constantly given like resources and stuff like that. In this game, since everything is so finite and rare, like just running out of resources is fucking terrifying, because I know if I encounter one of the bakers or the molded, then I'm not going to be prepared. I'm going to fucking die, and I'm going to have to load an older save.
Yeah, well, even in the Division, inventory management is annoying. It's not life or death.
This is life or death.
Way more.
Yeah,
this is in a game. This is a classic game, like old school type, gameplay. Yeah, that's what that's what it sounds like. This sounds like So, like, when I play 7 Days to Die, there's mods, and one of the first things they do for the mods is they increase the inventory. And I'm like, I never have a problem with that. And I'm like, you guys are just, like, don't you know how to, like, make decisions?
Right.
You got to make a decision. That's what it comes down to. But people don't want to. They want to hoard everything, and they can't. It's actually really refreshing that they're actually putting some difficulty with the inventory management. It's a pain in the ass, but if you played older games, you would know.
It's
not you, just anyone.
But that game is so realistic. I mean, I've never played a game where 4 hours went by and it's like you don't even. I didn't even know 4 hours went by. It wasn't even close. You know what I mean? It was just like. That game is so immersive with every little decision you have to make. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. It's a masterpiece game in my opinion.
I got to agree. So far, I'm only through the first few hours. I just got through the first boss battle with Jack Baker.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not too far into the game, but what I've played so far has just been so good.
Yep.
Just been so good. Now, before I move on to For Honor, here's an interesting question I want to ask you, Count. Who did you find more scary, more intense and scary, the bakers or the molded?
The molded are pretty creepy, especially when you're in the boiler room and you can't hear them.
Oh, fuck.
And you have to keep going through. I love how they put that boiler room right there where it's like a key spot where you have to keep going through it to get to a certain point. And with the boiler thing running, you can't hear the groans of the molded, like, creeping up on you. And they're in there. You're like, shit, I know there's one more lurking, but you can't hear him, So, I don't know. The bakers are pretty creepy, but... they've got some comic relief a little bit as well.
Yeah,
some of the shit that they say, but the molded are pretty creepy. Yeah,
because every time I heard about like Resident Evil 7, the bakers got a lot of praise, and while I have to admit they're really well done characters, they have great dialogue and personalities, and they're beautifully animated. I find the molded much scarier.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, because they're creepier.
Honestly, it's just the way they're animated, the way they stumble towards you.
Yeah.
And they're always like opening and closing their mouths waiting to take a bite out of you. I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Oh, and the worst part, like what's even scarier than them is missing bullets when you're shooting at them because they'll wobble their head from side to side.
They do. They kind of lurch to a side at the last possible second, and you'll miss. I'm not the best aim anyway, but I wasted so many bullets. Like, you'll waste 7 or 8. If you spend 7 or 8 bullets trying to kill one, because you got to blow their head apart, basically,
yes.
Then you're fucked. Because then you're not going to have enough. You know there's 2 or 3 more coming, so.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah. It's the worst. Like, every time, like, I just feel the intensity building when I'm up against a molded, because I'm like, I've got to make this headshot miss. Fuck! Yep. Now he's closer to me. Just like, oh, man. So, yeah, Resident Evil 7... Really liking it so far. Can't wait to get to the end. Thank you so much.
The grandma's creepy.
Oh, yes!
The grandma's creepy as fuck, and you'll find out later on why, but...
Oh, God. Oh, no. It gets worse.
Yeah.
Shit. She's already staring at you. I can't... Jeez.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I know, it's okay. It's okay. It's like she's already staring at you constantly every time you pass her by, but you're telling me it gets even worse than that?
Well, she moves around the house. Have you noticed that?
I did!
Yeah, she'll be in... Yeah, it's like, how the fuck did she get over there?
I know, she was in the fucking dining room, then all of a sudden she was upstairs. I'm like, how did you get here? Yep. Jesus
you Christ. Haven't fought Marguerite yet,
No, I haven't fought Marguerite yet.
Yeah,
no, I just beat the first boss battle with Jack. And it was awesome, by the way, with the fucking chainsaws. That was badass.
Yeah. Marguerite's, she has the bugs.
Oh.
She commands the bugs to attack you and shit. So, yeah, that, and you talk about, you're going to face a decision on ammunition there as well.
Oh, God. Oh, that's wonderful. Can't wait to do that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's.
Oh man,
it's a great game, man. It's.
It is.
I'm gonna play it again on the harder, after, because I beat it through, and then you get, it's a little different the second time. So they add some stuff. So.
Wait, they actually change up the gameplay and add new stuff on another.
Well, no, they add a couple items.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they change a lot of the gameplay, but my friend's already played through it a couple times, and. I was gonna wait a little bit, and then that's a game I really want to play in VR, man. That's one game I want to play in VR.
Again, Count, thank you so much for recommending the game a couple podcasts ago. I'm so happy that I picked it up.
Yep.
And now another game I'm very happy I picked up, and seemingly the rest of the gaming community as well, because it's getting very positive reviews so far since launch. Ubisoft may have a real winner on their hands. For Honor. Played For Honor this week. I beat the single-player campaign, started trying out the online multiplayer, and I have to say, guys, this may be my Game of the Year 2017 already. I'm freaking loving For Honor. I cannot stress to you guys enough, and you both tried out the beta and tried out some of the characters. Guys, the melee combat system, how it evolves and how you evolve with it, how you develop your own strategies and stuff like that, getting used to blocking and timing your angles. It's a very addictive combat system, at least for me.
We've covered it for a couple of podcasts, so it's catching up. We're just hearing your side of it now.
Yeah, I've finally was able to get some solid hours into it, and it's so engrossing how when you get into a duel, like, all your focus is on that duel. You're eyeing up your target. You're looking at where you're holding your weapon, where they're holding your weapon. It's very intense. It's very intense. And the fact that the combat system is solely skill-based means even if you're sucking, even if your opponent has the edge, and it looks like they're going to win, if you time your blocks right, time some good heavy attacks, you can make an epic comeback. Yeah. I really like that.
It's to be honest, it's a real rock paper scissors type combat thing, where the majority of people are going to enjoy that dueling if they're really into mind games and fighting games. This is a very fighting game type of system that we're looking at. I recognize it almost immediately, and I used to play the shit out of fighting. I don't play them now because I guess whatever it is on PC. I never picked them up on PC, and I never really associated PCs with fighting games because of the controls. I was so used to using, a fight stick, like in an arcade. So I've never actually played. The only time I played fighting games were like maybe on the Genesis with the controller, and it sucked. But yeah, no, I think that they have probably the best mechanic. I feel tired of talking about For Honor. I've talked about so much in the past few podcasts. But the dueling system is rock, paper, scissors, and it's just a mind game thing. That's all it really is going to come down to. So It's good. It's good. I don't really think it's Game of the Year for me, for sure, by far, because it doesn't have enough. I've already explained all that. I only see the dueling system as being good, and we do want to hear about something that no one has talked about, which is the campaign.
Yes.
Yeah, Graham was saying in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, campaign.
We know the dueling's pretty good.
Okay, so the campaign took me around 10 hours. It was around 3 to 4 hours for the free chapters. There's free chapters in the campaign. Knights, Vikings, and Samurai. And it goes in that order. You start with the Knights, then Vikings, then you finish it off with the Samurai. Now, the campaigns don't have you playing as all the characters, but you do get one character in each of the chapters that kind of represents you. A Warden, a Raider, and an Orochi. And you get to actually customize those characters to decide whether they're male or female and what kind of armor they wear. And the real cool thing, they actually show up in the cutscenes. And they have different voice actors and everything, which I was so pleasantly surprised, and Janzer, you're going to love this. The female Knight Warden is voiced by Jennifer Hale.
Oh, Commander Shepard.
Yeah, I was a Knight Commander Shepard in For Honored, and it was fucking awesome. It was fucking awesome.
She's got one of the strongest vocals when it comes to females. That's why.
It was such a pleasant surprise playing the campaign and going, I'm Commander Shepard as a knight. This is so cool.
So what about the campaign? So you go through starting with each of the factions.
You do each of the factions, and each of the factions takes each of the chapters with each of the factions. It's a story, it's a plot that goes over years. It's a very long timeline, and it focuses mainly around the character we've mentioned her before, the villain Apollyon, and how she slowly gets all three factions to go to war. I won't tell you how she does it, but I found the plot very, very engrossing. However, the biggest problem with the plot is that the only character you really care about in the end is the villain Apollyon. She's the best developed. She gets the most voice acting time. She narrates most of the story. So you learn to love and hate Apollyon. Like she's a psychotic bitch, but she's a clever manipulator and she's charismatic. And there's some badass fight scenes with her. The story mode is basically Apollyon mode, where you get to see the story of Apollyon through the eyes of other characters. I think the story's biggest problem is that it doesn't develop the other characters enough, because there are other characters with names and backstories and stuff like that, but the game just focuses, I think, too much on Apollyon, because there's real potential for some good character development with these other characters from each of the factions, but the game is just all like, look at Apollyon, look at Apollyon, look at Apollyon, and while she is a good character, she's a great villain. I really like her. I find that it's a real missed opportunity that they didn't put as much effort into developing the other characters, and the story suffers because of it. Like, I think the game has a good story, but its biggest problem is that you only care about one character throughout the entire story, and you care more about the villain than the own characters that you're playing as. The only other character I cared about besides Apollyon was the Viking Raider. Because with the Viking Raider, they made him into an absolute badass. They gave him cutscenes, and they gave him kind of like a sense of humor, which was really nice and refreshing, because the rest of the campaign takes itself very seriously. So I think that the biggest problem with the campaign mode is its characters. Besides Apollyon, it should have spent more time with the other characters to get us to care about them. It spends way too much time on its villain, and I love villains, and I love spending time on the villains. But the story suffers because you don't care about all the characters. You just care about one, which I think is a missed opportunity. Okay. However, one thing I think the campaign blows out of the water is its level design and set pieces. The campaign gets very specific levels that are separate from the multiplayer. They're very specifically built for the campaign, and they're able to fit in some awesome fucking set pieces. There's a few levels where you're sieging castles, and you're seeing catapults and fire arrows rain on the battlefield. You have to climb up walls. There's one level where you get to ride a horse, and you're chasing an enemy down this path while friggin' trees are falling down around you. There's even, in the Samurai campaign, there's a boss battle against an elephant. You get to fight a fucking war elephant.
Oh.
So, that's kind of cool.
Exactly, the campaign...
Kill an animal.
So Ubisoft didn't half-ass this campaign. I hear a lot of YouTubers saying, "Oh, it's just a tutorial for the multiplayer." That is such bullshit.
I think that's really far, but I know that it's not a strong campaign. Like, it's not as bad as something like Titanfall 1's quote-unquote campaign.
That wasn't even a campaign. That was multiplayer matches. This is a full-on campaign.
No, come on. They tried to string you along with the story with multiplayer matches.
There
was a story there.
Yeah, there was a story. I'm not saying, but they did.
But it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like you're just playing multiplayer matches and then, it was an actual storyline.
It had good story and characters,
but it wasn't
the gameplay
anywhere
didn't
near like
reflect that.
Titanfall 2 storyline, for example.
Exactly.
So it's a weak story. It's exactly what I thought it was,
But you haven't played For Honor, and you haven't seen all
You just
the
explained
stuff.
to me that they didn't develop any of the characters, and they focused mainly on the boss itself. To me, that's a weak story.
Ah, okay.
Unless you're going to be playing the boss, which unfortunately you're not, right?
No, you don't play as
That
Apollyon.
would be awesome. That would be almost kind of
would've been
interesting
great.
to play as a fourth faction or something like that.
I know. I think it would have
Because-
been a good idea to actually play as Apollyon. Like, she's the character that gets the most development. She's the focus of the campaign. So if actually playing as her would have been good. But they
And then bringing Jennifer Hale in, for that, I'm sure she had some decent lines, but do you
she
feel
did.
that they
She
fully
does.
took advantage of the caliber of voice actor she is, and it seems like they didn't develop the character, is what you're saying. So
Yeah, Apollyon is the only well-developed characters. Like, there's great scenes with the different characters, and there are some great lines. But while they are great, like, you can say, okay, that was well done, that was well made, that was well voice acted, that was well animated. It doesn't culminate into actually having an emotional response because the game hasn't given you enough time to feel for these characters.
Right.
I can story-wise, I can agree with you, Janzer, that it needs work. It's not comparable to other stories, but the gameplay of the campaign, I think, is worth experiencing because there are those epic moments where you're sieging castles, fighting fucking elephants, riding on horseback. I think those are really worth experiencing, and you can't get that in the multiplayer. You can't get these epic castle sieges and boss battles and stuff.
Now you're reporting, sir, not just gushing. See, that's what people want to hear, though. And I know it sounds like, I'm being the cynic or whatever, but I swear to God, that people want to know. It's like, okay, well, if everyone else is saying that it's got a weak campaign, but one person isn't, either he's right or they're full of shit, right?
I can promise you
and so
that
then,
they're full
then
of
they're
shit.
like, well, what else is going on here? So once you start mentioning there's parts of the campaign that you're not going to get in the multiplayer, and what parts of those campaign pieces are, then they're like, oh, that actually might give me a reason to play the campaign. If I have to make a determination whether or not the campaign's good or not, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt that probably the one person that's saying it's great, it's probably not that great, because it's the majority versus the minority kind of thing. It's like, well,
yeah, but here's the thing.
take it with a grain of salt and
I
go in
bet
with
you,
it.
Janzer, I bet you that the majority, they're not even playing through all the chapters.
Look, I listen to some podcasts that these guys, I respect their opinion too, just because I don't talk to them or anything like that. They have pretty good opinions that I've listened to for over a year at least, and so in order to get that kind of level of respect for them, they've given opinions that weren't always just one-sided, which it helps to flesh out the reasons why you would want to play, why that campaign is actually good. If you're telling me that the characters are not really fleshed out, that doesn't sound great. You're talking about they worked on the villain. I'm like, so I wonder if they're going to do something with that villain later on. Does that mean DLC with the villain? Does that mean so I'm just trying to why do I need the campaign? Why do I need to play this game at all? Especially for someone like me who only finds joy in the mechanics of dueling, But since you mentioned that there's different little, there's the storming the castle part, there's fighting an elephant, which honestly, I'm not really that keen on, but it's just if there's other little cool events like that might be like, you know what, I want to try that out.
That the campaign is full of like I said before, the campaign doesn't use multiplayer maps. It uses very specific levels and has very specific set pieces. There's one set piece where you have to escape this burning tower while archers are raining arrows down on you. There's another set piece where you're again another castle siege, but you have to escort this giant ram and you have to protect the ram while it's being attacked from all sides and you're trying to siege this castle. There's another boss battle where you fight a Viking, but he has wolves as allies, so you have to fight this big-ass Viking with his pet wolves. Again, there is stuff in the campaign that is simply not in the... But yeah, like when people say, "Oh, the campaigns, it's just a tutorial for the multiplayer," I'm sorry, but that's bullshit.
That's harsh. I actually haven't heard anybody say that, but not that I listen to every goddamn thing. So that's
what I've heard from like IGN and GameSpot and stuff like that. Like all the big publications keep saying, "Oh, it's preparation. It's a tutorial for the multiplayer," and I'm like, that's bullshit. If Ubisoft just wanted to make a tutorial for the multiplayer, they'd make a tutorial for the multiplayer. They wouldn't go out of their way to get all these voice actors, render all these cutscenes, make all these set pieces. I'm sorry, it's not a fucking tutorial. It is a single player campaign.
Okay. Yeah, but they have tutorial aspects in the first chapter, don't they, or something?
Yes, absolutely.
Kind of like Titanfall 2 did.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. Of course they're going to do that.
I heard that about Titanfall 2 story too, actually. I do remember one person saying, well, most of that is like a tutorial for the storyline.
It kind of is. But it's thrown in nicely. It's not like... It doesn't revolve around it or anything.
A lot of games that are single player start you off with like hints about like, here's how you do this. That doesn't, I mean, that's kind of just like an intro to the game, you know? It's like
exactly
learning the mechanics, you know, because otherwise how do you know, you know?
So. Precisely. But I cannot stress this enough. Like, I think people need to... Well, try the campaign out for yourself. Give it a try, and if you guys ever pick up the game and let me know. Me, I really like it, despite how
I want to see some of the gameplay of it. It's not gonna. This is not a game that I'm gonna worry about spoilers, because I'm not worried about. The story is not the focus for me. The mechanics would be.
Exactly.
So I could watch this game and be like, "Oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna go play that." You know.
Oh, I'll be live streaming it later the week. So come by and I'll try and show off some of the cool campaign levels. Again, I really like the single player. I really like the villain Apollyon. Of course, she's the character they put the most time into. So I think the campaign is worth playing for the sake of that character and the sake of the set pieces. I really like the campaign. As for the multiplayer, I finally got to try out all the game modes: Domination, Brawl, 1v1, and I'm really liking For Honor so far. I'm really liking... It's a full, complete package. It's giving you a ton of content for your money. And again, the customization system is extremely deep. Extremely deep. Now that the game's out, it's like showing off, okay, here's all the cosmetics you can get. And holy fucking shit. They pulled a Titanfall 2 here. There's so much visual customization. It's goddamn ridiculous.
I felt like there was a lot already in the closed beta and open beta.
Dude,
like, there's
even
so much
more
lock that I couldn't even get to, of course, you know?
Oh, yeah, but there's so much more, man. It's ridiculous. You see, there's different rarities. There's, like, common, mythic, legendary, and they get crazier and crazier. The headpieces you can get for your fucking helmets, dragons and skulls on fire. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Where most people, and I mentioned this the other times too, is where most people were, like, unlocking the characters. I just was, like, buying the most rare crate or whatever.
Yes.
Because I wanted 2 out of 3 or at least 2 like rare pieces or whatever. Because I was like, I don't care about saving my progress with any of the characters. Well, with those other characters, I just want one to focus on because it's a very limited window to play it in. I actually think I did something smart for once. And I focused down on one character because you could still play all of the other ones.
Yes.
You just couldn't save your progress on the other ones.
Exactly.
But you could at least, you know, develop one character pretty deeply and kind of go down the rabbit hole with their customizations. The problem, like I mentioned before, was I could never group with people. And I could never save my dueling progress in closed beta and in open beta. And it was apparently a very well-known issue that they apparently also fixed on the very last day, towards the end of that day. It's just that people had been turned off so much to it that they weren't going back to the dueling. So, and it was just 1v1 dueling, by the way, that was having that issue. So,
interesting. Interesting.
Yep.
Well, here's the weird thing. Here's the weird thing for me. Like, everyone who plays the game says, "Oh, the game's great, the combat's great, recommend the game." But there's a problem with the peer-to-peer servers and people dropping out and connection issues. I haven't experienced any connection issues so far.
Okay.
I have experienced an issue where a match would end and the game would say, "We can't calculate your rewards. Your rewards will still be added to your account and will notify you." And that's happened to me several times, and I find that odd. I've never had a game that can't calculate, "Oh, here's how much XP, here's what loot you got," and it has to wait and tell me later what I got. I know, that is very weird.
Yeah.
But I have seen multiple videos of people, like, losing their connection, dropping from matches. They're definitely having some connectivity issues.
Yep.
I cannot...
Maybe regional or something. I don't know.
Well, there were 3 of us, Volts, Rackshaw, and myself, that attempted to play together. We could never get it to work. and we're all in different locations, so it could be, whatever. I made a joke that I was like, look, I can connect to stuff in Warframe. If you can do peer-to-peer in Warframe, you can do peer-to-peer in anything. So get your shit together, guys.
Yeah.
But it was an actual legitimate issue on their end that apparently got fixed with the reward saving thing. So as far as the rest of it, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the end product is.
I know you guys are really into the 1v1 dueling. I myself have really gone into domination. I really like the team-based gameplay of domination.
The MOBA part.
Yes, I found myself really getting into that, and I'm seeing players use very unique strategies. I haven't seen a meta build yet, which is very fucking nice. I'm very glad to be playing a game where the meta hasn't taken over yet. I'm seeing people experiment with all the different characters. I'm seeing people experiment with their cosmetics and emotes and stuff like that. I'm seeing a large variety of people really testing out the game, finding what suits them. I'm also noticing the rise of a certain character, not because he's OP, but because people just seem to like him. The Lawbringer character for the Knights. Yep. I personally also really like the Lawbringer, and I'm seeing a lot of the Lawbringer. He's a very interesting character. He's got some range like the Nobushi, but he doesn't have the same speed. He's more tanky and slow, but he has kind of like the range of the Nobushi, which is very interesting. Very interesting. I love the diversity of the characters. I've played all the characters, and they all feel genuinely different from one another, which I really like. Which I really, really like. So far, I'm really digging For Honor.
Buy it for $10. I'm not even joking because
kind of like what happened with the Division. I mean, we all waited for sales,
Yeah.
I'll
not
get
me.
it.
You gifted it to me, Count.
Yeah,
so
I know, but I mean, you would have
that.
gotten it on a sale anyway, probably.
I don't know, man. I don't know. And nobody was. Well, here's the thing. Nobody was really playing it.
I was playing it. I was the only one that
Tron
was playing
about
it.
The only one.
Tron, you say a lot of things, but you're not always around either. Okay, so you can't be counted on. All right, that's all I'm saying.
What? For what?
I said what I said. That's what it is. It's true. And it's not your fault. It's just a matter of fact. I can't count on someone else to play games with. That's how I function. Either I'm going to play a game or I'm going to play it with friends, but I'm not going to count. I'm not going to put it on them to be there to hold my hand through a game or whatever. You should be able to play a game by yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to get a game just because everybody else is playing it.
Exactly.
I mean, it would be nice if that happened and it was a consistent thing, but I'm not, like Janzer said, I'm not going to count on it. Right. I'm not going to sit there and say, well, let's all, because it's just, some people get bored of a game, people move on, shit like that. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Of course.
Yeah, no, so all I'm saying was I don't think I would have played the Division just because I didn't know about all the changes. Nobody was playing it, or GamerTron was, but GamerTron... he talks about a lot of games. I don't really always know, like what's really going on. So nobody, I think Graham was playing it, and he was
Graham. I saw Graham. I saw Graham playing it, and I saw Tron playing it on a live stream.
But I think,
and that's before I even knew who you were, really.
Yeah, and I think even Graham quit playing it. I think in 1.3, not in 1.4.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. He stopped playing it right when the first incursion came out.
So I jumped in at the end of 1.3 and was so lucky to hit 30 when 1.4 rolled around. So my experience with it was, this game is amazing. And then 1.5 showed up. And I thought it was still fine, because I don't play PvP, so I didn't have any of the negative effects that other people did. So, yeah, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, I'm not.
No problem. Well, anyway, so yeah, that was For Honor and Resident Evil. Those are the games I've been playing this week. Also, of course, playing more Titanfall 2. And it turns out the Live Fire update that I talked about a while ago, that's been delayed because of the consoles. Like, Xbox and PlayStation are still taking time processing. Yeah, they have the update ready. Live Fire is ready. They just want to release it simultaneously for all platforms, and they can't do that until Sony and Microsoft give them a go. So... that's a shame. Gotta wait for the Titanfall 2 update.
Yeah, I was going to say...
don't you hate those damn consoles?
Speaking of, there is actually something for Titanfall 2 updates. I was hoping you were going to bring that. But I do have the changes for For Honor before it goes live. on bots replacing players in duels. And
Oh, yes.
and in games. Volts had mentioned this being an issue.
Right.
So in response to player feedback from blah, 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 they're going to replace the leaving player with a dead bot instead of a full like health one, which is bullshit. Because if you get that player down to like, 1/4 health and they're like, oh, fuck this, I'm out of here, and then it gets replaced with a full health bot, and you took all your health getting that one
That's
player
bullshit.
down. It is
yeah.
bullshit. So that bot is now done, and you'll win the round unless there was like other things that you needed to do, clearly, but they're not going to like try to make you fight a full health player again or whatever. Or
Good.
on the Conqueror and Berserker, apparently, I'm just going to read this for, it says currently if your opponent blocks, oh my God, my brain's dead. If your opponent blocks a light attack from either of those characters, they can combo into a free guard break. That's no longer going to happen. So apparently people are taking it. But it's good to have these things, noticed in the bigger, see what the exploits are. On the Peacekeeper, it says we will address the bug where the second and third stabs from a guard break do not apply bleed. So apparently there was supposed to be a bleed being applied, and it wasn't always happening. On the Valkyrie, light attacks. So the Valkyrie is what? The dual wield, right?
No, Valkyrie for the Vikings, she's spear and shield.
Okay, spear and shield. So they're going to reduce recovery time on light attacks. I didn't play the Valkyrie much, so I don't recall there being too many issues with it for me. On light chain attacks, they're going to reduce the time between attack, or light chains are going to reduce time between attacks. Pouncing Thrust and Hunter Strike, these two different moves, increase damage and link options after those moves, meaning you'll be able to do a chain attack, I guess. Shield Crush,
sweet.
they're going to add link to light attack chains, meaning you can chain into Shield Crush. And then Hunter's Rush, I think that's what that means at least. They're going to reduce recovery time on that. So I guess she was having looks like a lot of like timing issues with her attacks. And then guard break.
Well, specifically her combos.
Yeah,
her combos
yeah.
took. I played as her. She has some real wind up time that leaves her just a tad bit too exposed.
Yeah.
Like usually I avoided combos with her and just reverted to blocking with shield and poking with spear.
Right. So it looks like recovery times were an issue, like you're saying, and also chaining attacks was an issue too. So they're fixing that stuff, or at least adjusting it. They're adjusting it. I can't say fixing it because you know how it is. Guard break counter on all heroes on the guard break counter. Currently, you can't counter a guard break during a guard break attempt. This will be returned to the previous behavior seen in the beta.
Okay.
Okay. So that's just nice for people that really got into like dueling. So you really learn to like rock paper scissors the shit out of your opponent. It's like, oh, they're doing that. They're doing that. Now there is meta gameplay right now. You're talking about meta gear, probably not. But the meta gameplay right now is defensive. The thing is, they're saying like, okay, so the person that, attacks first is going to get punished most, right? But that is why there are breaks for your attacks. So you can you can interrupt your attack. So the true meta is actually going to be feints. So you do an attack feint, let somebody counter with something, then you punish them. So
there you go.
That's how you beat the defensive players. And there is a feint, or not a feint, but like a heavy attack break specifically. Like look at your controls. If y'all just go look at your controls, you'll see that. Rackshaw brought it up. I think Graham brought it up. So a couple of people had brought it up, and I was like, man, that is good. Like that's mind game shit right there. Yeah, that's fighting game stuff.
Well, I get why you're calling that the meta. When I was talking about meta, I was more so like this character is better than all the other characters. But I get what you're saying.
Meant like gear and like person like Nobushi. People are, even I was like complaining about Nobushi being cheap because she is. But in reality, get good and learn that if that person's going to attack, fucking parry their ass.
Oh yeah.
Punish them for attacking hard.
Yeah, here's what I realized about Nobushi. Like I thought she was OP, but the more I fought against her, I realized, oh my god, if you just block up, she can't do her bleed attack. Her bleed attack can only be done when she's attacking from above. She has to do a specific combo that requires her to do free stabs from up top.
Parry that shit, guys. Parry it and punish them for it. Yeah,
exactly.
Because you get some extra neat little moves. Like there's a rush attack with like a flaming sword that the Vanguard Knight does from a parry, an upward parry attack. I love doing that one. Or actually, I was like, what's that? And I was like, oh yeah, that's like after a parry. It's really fun. So, but no, that game, the dueling alone, I'll give them $20 for the dueling alone. Maybe 15. Let's set on 15. We'll negotiate. All right.
So, but you don't want to pay 60 for like everything. You just want to play
that's
a specific...
I'm saying here, I don't think that it's because they made a bad game. That's personal preference, and that's what we all fucking have, you know.
Exactly.
What I say doesn't fucking go for a count and doesn't go for you, you know. It's just what I think. So everybody knows that, you know. So no, I don't think it's worth it for me, but I'll watch some.
I doubt if I'd even buy it on a sale. I mean,
yeah. See.
I can. No, that sounds rude. Never mind.
Maybe he doesn't like the gameplay, or maybe he doesn't like how they're instituting certain things, or maybe he's being counted.
Yeah, that's
it's hard
fine.
to tell.
That's fine. That's fine, Count. I hear you. I hear you. For me personally, I'm really digging the game. I'm really digging For Honor. For me, it's kind of like a dream come true kind of game, because when I was a kid, I'm sure everyone did this when I was a kid, you pretended to be knights and Vikings and samurai. And to have this game where you actually get to play as knights, Viking, and samurai and have a really good combat system go along with it, I'm just really digging it.
Yeah, you ran around your yard like acting like you were...
Tron actually pretended to be a dragon. That's a different story. He loves dragons.
Hey, when you're 10 years old, anything's
rape and
possible.
pillage.
Whoa! Wait, hey now.
Well, that's what Vikings did. I mean, come on,
and
really.
samurai. And
they
all did it.
Well, when you're a kid, you don't know that shit.
Right.
That's no excuse.
Volts. I know Volts really likes it, and Rackshaw played the shit out of it too.
Yeah.
So, you know. So there's definitely some people going to pick it up.
This is not my game. It's just not my game.
No problem, man. No problem, Count. I hear you. I
see that the Prime membership for Twitch, they're selling it. They have a For Honor Twitch Prime bundle.
Ooh.
And they also are selling this is kind of a stretch, not selling, but they're giving away the Comixology Combat Comics Pack. So the whole theme this month with the release of For Honor is all combat. So, but they have Kick-Ass is one of the comic books. Really? Kick-Ass? Really? Because the sword, what's her name? Slice Girl or whatever the fuck?
No idea.
Hit Girl, yeah.
Kick-Ass. Wasn't that guy?
What'd I say? Slice Girl? What'd you say, Janser?
He just wore green or whatever, right?
Yeah,
he
green
just
and
made
yellow.
his own little green scuba suit or whatever.
His strength was getting his ass beat, right? I'm not wrong, right?
No, you're right.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And being on YouTube or whatever, yeah.
Huh? That's right. All right.
Yeah.
I barely remember that movie.
Yeah. It was all right. It was,
okay.
Yeah, the actor's the guy that played Quicksilver in the Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Never saw
Looks a lot different. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jeez. Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson or something like that. He also played in Godzilla. But
yeah, you're right. He did.
Was he the son?
Yeah, he was the son in Godzilla. Yeah, of Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
All I know is bullshit. What happened to Bryan Cranston? That's garbage. Bad marketing. I went to watch Godzilla and Bryan Cranston fight Godzilla, and I didn't get that.
Yeah. Breaking Bad versus Godzilla.
That's what I wanted to see. Where's the
I
hat?
didn't like that Godzilla movie. I picked it up last week in the bargain bin at Walmart. It was $3.74. I had seen the movie, but I was like, I'll give it another chance. I watched it again. I was like, yeah, it sucked.
Yeah.
Really? You think the movie sucks?
I thought it did. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I didn't like the movie.
The problem is it's Godzilla, so it's so like, I've watched it too when I was a kid so much. So there's so much there that's writing on it for like expectations that I'm like, I watched it and I was like, no, you had too much potential and you failed. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? You know?
I think it was just I can understand if you're a Godzilla movie fan. Like, of course, everyone wanted more Godzilla in the Godzilla movie, but I think at least to me, like they took some time to like develop the characters, and I think it was a good movie, but not a good Godzilla movie.
I hear what you're saying.
It's much better than the fucking Matthew Broderick one.
Yes,
of course.
yes,
That's one of the worst movies ever made.
I haven't even seen the new Japanese version one.
That's the one I'd like to see.
I keep getting recommended. Like in my personal Discord, like everyone there keeps saying, "GamerTron, you gotta see the Shin Godzilla movie. You gotta see."
Just
well,
tell
does
them
it have
to
an
get
English?
you a pass on Amazon to watch it, and they'll shut.
I want to see it. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the English dub of the thing. I ain't reading subtitles.
But I guess King Kong Skull Island's coming out, and that's going to be leading up to a King Kong versus Godzilla
movie. Yes, that's already been announced. Yes,
Yep.
after Kong Skull Island.
But then once again, they've got the size differential to worry about, because I always hated the fact that all of a sudden King Kong was 400 feet tall, and
Right.
how does that work? Because in the actual King Kong lore, he's only like 75 feet tall.
He what?
You know,
climbs
not
to
even
the
that.
top of the Empire State Building, right?
Yeah.
Godzilla is bigger than the fucking.
Yeah, Godzilla's halfway up the fucking on his tippy toes. He's like halfway up the Empire State Building. King Kong is barely fills the top of it, you know. So yeah, it's ridiculous. He would just step on King Kong, you know.
It wouldn't even be a thought.
But of course, you know, they've got to make him big, and you know.
Hey,
Well, it's American,
I,
so
I just
Yeah.
want to
Gotta
see
beat up
two
the
giant.
Japanese.
I want to see two giant CG monsters kick the shit out of each other, and that's what I'm going to get.
I'm looking forward to Pacific Rim 2. That's
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
looking forward to.
that got announced. It's being made.
I
a
picked
while
that.
back,
I
man.
picked that movie up in the bargain bin the other day too.
Oh no, no, Janzer. It was actually in turmoil. Like there was rumors that it was going to be canceled because it was having like financial troubles.
But those were just rumors. Guillermo del Toro said,
It got
"I
mentioned
didn't."
a while back. Yep.
Yeah, he was like, if that. He's like, he dispelled some of those rumors.
Okay, good to
Yeah.
know. Good to know. Because I only heard recently that's 100% fully confirmed. It's coming out.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's what I
even
heard.
better.
That's so excited. Oh, I love Pacific Rim so much.
Oh, I love Pacific Rim. My wife hates it. Oh my god, my wife was like, "Why are you watching this crap?"
Okay.
And I was like,
That movie is the last movie, and one of the, if not maybe one of the only movies that I ever bought tickets early for, and went there hours before and waited in line for.
"Oh, really?"
I'm not even fucking kidding.
Oh.
Not only that, but then I actually even like kind of pressured people to go and fucking watch it too. I've never done that for a movie. But when was the last time one of those fucking movies came out?
I know.
Right.
That was decent. Not
Right.
even good, just like halfway decent.
Decent, right?
So
exactly.
that thing had to fucking succeed in order to show Hollywood, look, these things can make money. It's like superhero movies. They had to have a really good one,
Yep.
you know, to show that they could make money. Otherwise, it wasn't going to happen. You know, then you were going to see that fucking. Well, actually, no. Superhero movies seem to like tank and still get made anyways. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, but they were no. You're right.
weren't gonna
You're
get the
right.
budget,
They weren't
maybe.
getting made with like.
Good budgets.
Yeah, people weren't bending
Okay.
over backwards to make those movies because. I mean, what was the first good superhero? I mean, Superman in the late 70s is kind of regarded as a decent, a pretty good franchise.
The very first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Actually, the
In recent
2000
time-
X-Men was kind of regarded as the thing that kicked it all off.
X-Men is, but I'm going to give it to Spider-Man as well. I think
Oh,
the original Spider-Man
I agree with
did
you
a lot.
100%.
But
That
X-Men
brought it
really
over
kept
the
it
top.
rolling. Like,
Yeah, X-Men. But I'll tell you one I think really got the ball rolling was Blade. The original Blade in 1988.
I think Blade kept it afloat.
Yeah. No,
More
you're
like,
right.
You know,
Yeah.
like, because there was nothing.
It got the interest peaked, and then
Yeah.
X-Men came, and then, okay, we're going to go with a big budget Spider-Man movie, you know, and they did. So that was
mean,
2002.
I think the thing that truly brought superheroes into the mainstream was the Iron Man movie. That's the thing that like made.
Well,
No,
that
I
gave
think I'm pretty sure it was X-Men.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was X-Men because I had people that I would never have considered to watch superhero related things watch the X-Men movies for sure. Yep. Shit,
Yeah,
if my mom's
the
watching
2000
that, come
X-Men
on, you know?
movie is credited with the boom. It was
I
the
agree.
start of the boom.
Because
but
that's when you
Spider-Man
started
brought
seeing
it to a
people
new
that
level.
never would have. Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man said, "Oh my God, this is one of the top 10 grossing films of all time now." You know, or shit
And Spider-Man's
like
way more accessible too. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
way more. So,
Yep.
but for nerd comic stuff, the X-Men is kind of like the top, like it's more well known, but still to the general public, they don't fucking know that. They know Spider-Man way more than X-Men.
Yeah,
and
Spider-Man
X-Men,
was
they
in
might
the-
know Wolverine-ish, maybe, you know.
Yeah,
but they're not gonna
Spider-Man had
know-
a syndicated newspaper syndicated newspaper cartoon. What did I say?
Right.
Column. Yeah, Spider-Man talks about no.
They're not going to get like, you know,
sorry.
Scott Summers' brother Havoc and have it make that movie. That would have
Right.
been
Right. It's like, who the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. The new Havoc movie.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Iron Man.
X Factor. Let's go.
Iron Man kicked off the Avengers.
Yes.
The Marvel
That's correct.
cinematic
Universe, yeah.
continuation. Yeah, that was kicked off with Iron Man.
And you know what? Ryan Reynolds absolutely proved that he's trying to destroy DC and he's trying to promote Marvel by making Green Lantern and then Deadpool.
That Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the
tried
rumor
to
is he
tank.
was going to do another Green Lantern.
Yeah, I heard.
I don't think that's going to happen.
hope
Oh
not.
no! He said in multiple interviews it's never going to happen again.
better
He's
not.
not touching.
Yeah, but
If
if
he's
they
doing
throw
that,
enough
George
money
Clooney's-
at him,
If he does that, George Clooney better do another Batman because it's going to be just as bad.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Oh man, can't wait
But
for
the
Deadpool,
rumor is that the Wonder Woman movie is a mess. So,
Yeah,
Oh,
I think we
shit.
talked about that before.
yeah.
No,
yeah.
I didn't hear about this. Right,
Because you weren't here for the podcast. that's
Yeah.
why.
So what about what was a mess count?
Supposedly a good insider source, the same people that reported early that Batman versus Superman wasn't that good, is saying that they have inside information about editing messes and like even the director is like disappointed in the outcome of the movie and shit like that. But what about the rumor that Mel Gibson is directing Suicide Squad 2?
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
That's such an odd mix.
Isn't that crazy? But that might be decent. I don't know.
When has Mel Gibson ever had anything to do with superhero movies?
I don't think so.
I don't think it matters. A lot of those actors never had anything to do with superhero
Yeah.
movies.
Now they're all dying to get at it. You know.
That's where the money is.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. That's where the big budget and the big. Yep.
Speaking of here's a Hollywood crossover. Remember that Apocalypse Now video game I was talking about where Francis
Yeah.
Ford Coppola was like, we're going to put this on Kickstarter. So that's dead.
Oh,
Is it dead?
As soon as it was put out in January, they abandoned the Kickstarter project just after images were now released about like what was going on with it. And those images are like, they look like mid 2000s like quality.
Oh no.
Oh, it's not good. It's not good. The thing is, they started the project up again, I think, on their own site, and whereas they had raised like 172,000 before.
That's
they've got,
what
like,
I heard. I heard
31,000
they
now.
raised. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you can search up Apocalypse Now video game, and see those.
That
images.
wouldn't be the first movie to jump into my mind to make a video game of.
No, it
I
wouldn't.
love the movie, but it maybe like a Telltale game series or something.
Well, actually, there already is a good Apocalypse Now video game, and it's called Spec Ops: The Line, and I would recommend you guys play it if you haven't already.
Is that literally the movie?
It's not literally
Apocalypse
the movie,
Now?
Okay.
No. But it takes great inspiration from it
Gotcha.
and tells a dark tale of war about soldiers in war. I highly recommend Spec Ops: The Line.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Does it have voice act? Is Martin Sheen one of the voice actors in it?
Nolan North is.
Nolan North. Okay.
Okay,
Nolan
I'm
Sheen.
seeing some of these screenshots for the Apocalypse Now video game, and you're right.
They're pretty
this
bad.
looks so
They're
old.
It's old tech. Whatever they're using for that engine it's kind of old. It's not really great. And I don't really like dissing stuff before it comes out, but I mean, you see what you see. It doesn't look very. I was trying to give it nope. Apparently they got some pretty decent people working on the game too. I read some, but I was just like, no, they got to get a better engine for that.
I mean, the lighting looks okay, but the texture, it's so low
the
detail.
modeling and all that. And it could be them trying to just push something out for, hey, look, no, seriously, we got something. No, really, yeah, but it's like, no, this isn't good, man.
Yeah, I see the headline. Things aren't looking good for the Apocalypse Now video game. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
They should have made a Pacific Rim. They should make a Pacific Rim video game.
I know, right?
Why not?
Game. A fighting game where you get to pick your mech and you get to pick your
fucking
kaiju.
God. Yeah.
Oh man, I would love that. I would fucking love that.
Oh, I would love that too.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Jaeger.
dream video games, if either of you guys are interested, a new game is coming out very soon to consoles and PC. The Berserk game. Its release date is coming closer and closer, and even more gameplay of it has been revealed. Have you guys been following the upcoming Berserk game?
Well, I reported on it a little bit while back, like when it was coming out, but I can't remember what the actual date of it is. It did come out.
I always think of the old arcade game, Berserk.
It's like a muso, meaning like it's like a, they're going to have a lot of enemies on a battlefield and a bunch of different people to pick between, and you go and just mow them down. So,
Janser, we got a release date. Comes out the end of the month, February 28th.
Yeah, like I said, I did. I'm just looking up. Here we go. February 21st is what we had here. Berserk and the Band of the Hawk. So maybe they changed the date. Because this was back on episode 40, Feb 3rd. So, interesting.
Yeah, and some more gameplay revealed. Like the first 21 minutes of the game is up on YouTube, and I'm liking what I see. Like I've played a couple Dynasty Warrior games, and they've just been good dumb fun. But having Berserk, being able to play as the Black Swordsman Guts with that giant sword and chopping up demons and knights to pieces, like that just looks like good dumb fun. The game just looks like real good dumb fun.
Well, yeah, it's a kind of like a big, large area, murder a lot of enemies kind of thing. That's a muso. Yeah, it's like the Orochi Warriors or Dynasty Warriors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Link even did it. Where they have similar to that.
Hyrule Warriors.
Yep.
There's also a special pre-order offer for some exclusive costumes, a pirate costume, white swordsman, golden hawk, blue stripe, black hawk, golden swordsman. There's a lot of exclusive costumes if you pre-order. Are they going to send me one so I can wear it while I play the game? Because that's the next level of pre-order stuff. All right, everyone's into cosplaying. Now we need to send it out. And then they can take pictures of themselves. Yeah, see? Marketing. You never know. You never know.
That helmet was cool.
So I'm definitely going to be picking this up. How about you guys? Either of you picking up the Berserk game?
Probably
I don't
not.
have any intentions to.
Yeah.
But I'll check it out to see how,
That's a game I always think of the old 80s arcade game when I think of Berserk.
Well, did you never watch the anime count?
Yeah, I've seen the anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's all right. I'm not going to TiVo it or some shit, but I watched it on YouTube.
I watched the new version, which is highly controversial.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think.
Oh yeah, long time back.
Oh yeah,
that was a while ago.
Yep,
it was real shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was okay.
It was all right. It wasn't anything great.
If you're into horses trying to rape women,
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I remember.
Yeah.
Yep. So a demon possesses the horse, and the horse tries to.
I got that. I got that.
He gets pretty far. I'm just saying. All right.
He doesn't like graphic.
I don't either, but it's a fact.
I was going to ask something, but now I can't. Damn it.
I just wanted to see if anybody's still listening out there. All right. Yeah. I've got a bunch of division changes. I just want to kind of get out of the way.
Oh, no problem, man. Sure.
Yeah. So 1.6.
Might as well wrap this up with that. Yeah.
Yeah. They submitted approval for this to Sony, so they're trying to get all the changes pushed through for the division. And I've been in stasis mode with it for a while. We played some stuff the Incursion the other day with Grand.
Oh yeah. That was epic.
So in case people aren't already doing it, save your damn caches, save your caches, and you'll get all of the new rolls on equipment and all that. So if you do, and then you get potential to get it exotic weapons and whatnot. So I think that's legendary only. So strike what I just said. But you could potentially get some of the new gear rolls or whatever. Real quick going over that. So your armor bonus, your native armor bonus, it will be turned into health. All right.
Oh.
So if you recalibrated your armor bonus, which probably a lot of people might have to try to get the absolute most out of it, the recalibration is going to reset, and you'll be back to the initial bonus when the item was acquired. So you'll be back at the the standard armor bonus.
Will you get your credits back for recalibrating?
Fuck if I know, man. Yeah, that's a good point. If you had native health bonus that wasn't recalibrated, meaning just you had health and you didn't mess with it, it's going to be turned into all resistance. Remember that whole thing about like a percentage-based resistance instead of like 30% either hit or miss. It's going to be 30% of the effect away, you know? So there's the all resist. If you recalibrated your health bonus, this gets complicated. This is fucking stupid, but I'm just going to go over it. If you recalibrated your health bonus in knee pads, the health roll is going to stay. If you recalibrated your health bonus in chest piece and no native armor roll on this piece, meaning it didn't have armor on it initially, but you did recalibrate your health, the health roll is going to remain. Do you want me to keep going? Because it gets real iterative. It's really ridiculous like this.
That is.
Go to Reddit and look up the 1.6 changes. Okay, I'll finish it off. If you had recalibrated health bonus in the chest piece and native armor roll on this piece, so you recalibrated both health and armor, the recalibration is going to reset. Otherwise, you would end up with like 2 health bonuses because remember, armor is going to turn into health.
Yeah.
But it's not going. It's just going to reset your calibration. So once again, what happens to the money you spent? You know.
Okay,
that's a very good point.
So they're recalibrating a bunch of our gear, but we don't know if we're getting compensation for it. That's worrying.
And other things is, like I said, if it had armor on there already, but it also had health, then you're not going to get double health. It's going to leave you with health and armor. It's just going to reset everything.
Okay.
So but remember, a while back I reported that they're also changing how recalibration works too, and they're adjusting the values of like how much that costs. So, you know, we'll see how that ends up going as well. If you had a recalibrated health bonus in any other gear piece besides the chest piece and knee pads, the recalibration will reset. So if you recalibrated pistol damage on your holster,
oh, geez.
And the holster was acquired after update 1.5.
Oh my god, we're being that specific.
You need a slide rule to figure it out.
Meaning during 1.5, if you put the recalibration will reset. Well, most of this is for like min-maxers that are like gonna froth at the mouth over it, and they're, you know. Anyways, if you recalibrated your health bonus in any other gear piece, the recalibration will reset. If you recalibrated skill haste bonus on your backpack, the recalibration will reset.
Why so specific?
Which I did. I know I did. Because it's tangled. It's a tangled mess like that. That's the whole point with when you have health and ammo capacity and resistances on one piece, you know how it can get. And then you have firearms and or stamina and or electronics. So you have like 6 different things. That's like a. Do you ever see those yarn like traps or whatever with your hands, where you could like have to untangle them with your fingers or whatever? It's a mess. It's a mess. So that's what they're playing that game of trying to untangle all of that and get the little string pieces out. Anyways, all recalibration on exotic weapons is going to reset. So yeah, those are, I'm pretty sure, all the named pieces. Unique talents on exotic weapons cannot be recalibrated. Okay. So that means anything that you currently have that's an exotic weapon, and this may be why people are saying go get your named weapons or whatever, you know, because then it's gonna remain with whatever that talent was. That way you can keep that talent.
Okay.
The new ones are not gonna have those. So free talents on exotic weapons that don't have a unique talent, the Liberator, the Centurion, Ehrenhilder, can be recalibrated. So, okay. This is in the upcoming stuff. So go check out Reddit. They've got a whole breakdown of like what's going to change, and you can go over that again and froth from the anus all you need or whatever, you know.
Wait, how is that even possible?
People are butt chugging too, so you know.
Oh God.
Yeah. That's what I got for Division, and we don't know when it's dropping, but they are done with the PTS, and they are sent.
Oh.
They sent it for approval. Their changes. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what Sony says.
Okay, so it's all. I'm waiting for both my Titanfall and my Division update on the consoles.
Yeah, there was a Titanfall update headline that I saw, but I didn't cover it because I figured maybe you might bring that. So I don't know what happened or what's happening.
They just gave more details on what Live Fire is going to be about, and they gave some more details on balances and changes. They're nerfing, of course. This was inevitable. Tone in the Devotion. Count, you've played Titanfall 2. You know how much of a headache Tone in the Devotion can be.
Well, that Tone is the one I play, of course. So.
Well, don't worry. They're not like nerfing her into the ground. They're just making it so that she can't completely waste Titans with her ultimate. They're taking care of the damage layoff, and they're taking care of how she can almost pinpoint accurately hit everything with her 40mm cannon. They're basing it. They're taking down the AOE of her gun, and as for Devotion, they're giving it more recoil so that it's not pinpoint accurate LMG like it is right now. So basically, Janser, the upcoming Titanfall thing, it's typical buffs, nerfs, nothing too critical. It's kind of what the community's been asking for, as well as, of course, more details on what Live Fire is going to be about and the upcoming exclusive maps to Live Fire.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I got a few other things here.
Ooh, okay. No, I'm up for more. I'm up for more if you got more.
Yeah, they're just quick headlines. They're not like in-depth discussions. So remember Microsoft picked up Beam, that streaming service? Beam, B-E-A-M, as in Mary.
Yep.
Xbox One is there's some Xbox One users that are able to test streaming with it.
Ooh.
So that should be coming pretty soon. So expect them to start flooding, fucking Beam with that. So that'll be interesting because that's a very small platform that's probably going to explode really quickly here.
Right.
Yep. And they actually have a really great little platform, but that's the whole thing. It's great because it's little, So once it becomes like everybody flooding in there, just get ready for all of the technical issues that Twitch has to normally deal with.
Oh, boy.
Twitch are just going to be like, I bet they're laughing, right now. They're like, get ready. Y'all have not even gone through what we've gone through yet. Yeah, you have no idea. You think you're so badass because you got like 5 people to cater to? Just wait till you have to deal with the crap we do. So, yeah. So, Elite Dangerous standalone PvP spinoff called Arena. They pulled that, apparently. The publisher Frontier Development. Apparently they were saying that, I thought it was something like, because people weren't playing. It could be that, but apparently people were not playing. It was a separate instance of the game.
Yes, exactly.
So they had to upkeep that, but apparently you can actually still access that in the game itself, but they wanted to try to separate it.
Yeah, that's what I talked about in my freaking Elite Dangerous videos, and people wouldn't shut up about.
Well, they're dumb because they're shutting it down, and they're like, no, we're just gonna. I think what it comes down to is people probably weren't playing it.
Yeah. People play Elite Dangerous for its
PvE.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No one plays the PvP because I'm sorry. Oh, I'm gonna trigger some Elite Dangerous fanboys here. Get ready. Okay, believe it or not, the ship combat isn't that fucking good.
Nope. What had good ship combat? A really old game called Freelancer. And you know why they did? Because they didn't try to treat it like a simulator. They treated it like a video game.
Exactly.
So it was very arcadey, and it was intended for mouse and keyboard like movement, not like I need to buy this big old fucking extra control just to handle the goddamn ship gameplay.
Exactly. No one was playing the PvP because the game, whether the devs
because it was boring and it sucked.
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe I'm saying this, but fucking Call of Duty got spaceship combat better with Infinite Warfare. It's
because they made it accessible.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. They added just the right amount of weight. They didn't make it feel like a fucking lumbering whale.
Yeah. Well, all they have to do with like Elite Dangerous is allow 2 different control sets, one for arcade type and one for space nerds.
Exactly.
And then there you go.
There you go.
So if they want to show how elite they are, let's find out.
Yeah.
So, but and then last thing, it's kind of like close to us for sure. I don't know how much Counts had to deal with it. I don't know how much like maybe Angry Joe came down on Count about nitpicky Joe videos that he did. But Content ID on YouTube, So I was reading a little thing about like Party Hard. Have you seen this game? It's like,
Yeah, I know about Party Hard.
Yeah, I've seen Party Hard.
Yeah, it's a fun little game. You know, you go and you murder everybody in a party because you don't like them.
And the cops come and yeah.
Well, everybody likes the music in it. So apparently, YouTubers stopped streaming the game or making videos about the game. A lot of them, like you didn't get bigger because like coverage on YouTube, but it was huge on Twitch, and because people kept getting fucking hit with content ID matches.
Right
there, you go.
Because, and I bring it up because I have had the same fucking issue. Now, this was a small developer called literally Tiny Build. You know, they didn't really understand a lot of I didn't know if you licensed this song and blah, blah, blah. They've gone through it once and they're like, look, developers, make sure you get your own original fucking stuff for this. That way you don't put people, if you want people to promote it, don't put them through this. That's all it comes down to, because they have to go, and they detailed out all the issues we got to go through. You want to contest it? Great. Well, in that meantime, your video's not gaining revenue for you.
Right.
You know? So YouTube's holding on to it, or it's getting eaten up by whoever else is determining that they want to take a piece of it. And you could try to, combat that, but good luck, All the while, you're getting a lower rating in advertisement and who advertisers want to give ads to, that kind of stuff. It actually lowers your score. It makes sense.
Oh my God. Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. So that's why you may have like really shitty ads and not even know about it. Like your revenue might be less than what you could be getting because the ads that are being given to you, the option to get like money off of, are a lot lower grossing than other ones. Because it's like, well, this is a risky person, that kind of thing. They cross the line a lot. So.
Right.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Son of a
sucks.
bitch.
Yep.
Oh, this brings me up to a thing I'm putting up with currently with Namco Bandai, where I was trying to promote one of their upcoming indie games called Little Nightmares, and God forbid I show some trailer footage, show some gameplay, show people what the game's like, even though I went out of my way to put these stupid fucking banners on the top and bottom to avoid copyright. They somehow still got me, even though I removed the audio, I edited the video footage, they still got me for copyright, even though I'm the only one fucking promoting their indie game. I'm the only one to have talked about, featured Little Nightmares in a video since its announcement trailer, and they're going to hit me for promoting their game? Jesus Christ.
Well, part of it's YouTube's system. It's just broken. It just doesn't work.
Yep. That's the whole thing, what the developer of like Tiny Build was saying. Developers, you need to take some responsibility, and if you're going to put these audio tracks in there, because people seem to like that audio track for Party Hard, like they got some really good tracks and people buy the soundtrack and all that. They were like, oh, it should be fine, right? Nope. They weren't reading like how you can distribute it to X people, but if you put it on this other platform, then it becomes a different type of distribution, whatever, See, now maybe that's acceptable for a small developer that doesn't know what's going on, but I say it's never acceptable for someone like Ubisoft. And I've run into problems with my Division videos and music in there getting hit. Or Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon, when I did the live stream of that, they hit me there for something on a little radio in a car. That
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
They want us to like showcase these videos of their game to get people hype. Well, how about you fucking cover our asses for you so we can actually do the job that you want us to do for free, And if we're doing it for free, at least let us get some fucking ad revenue off of wasting our time and the money that we put into live streaming and whatever it is. It could be looked at, oh, you're just turning on the computer. Motherfucker, do you know how many problems I run into on a daily basis? Volts knows. Sometimes he sets up with me while I'm doing 7 Days to Die. We run into issues almost every time. Shit, we do it when we're doing the podcast.
Yeah. You know what was a good game that was very fair about its soundtrack and letting people use it? Fucking Doom. id and Doom. Like, you can buy their soundtrack and you can listen to all the songs, but yeah, you would think that Doom's soundtrack is so good.
They paid a guy to create that soundtrack for them. They didn't go... See, smaller developers will they'll go to a, like a music warehouse or whatever, And in fact, they said something Lynn, and I actually even bought a song that I no longer use. I have the rights to it from that same Lynn guy that runs like a big... It's like a big music network or whatever that you can get rights to, songs. But they do that. They license songs to use in their game, but they don't license it for distribution for like YouTube or something like that. So they just don't know their rules. They don't take the time to look into that. They've never run into it. Ubisoft has no fucking excuse. That's two of their games that I've had an issue with them. and they don't do anything about it. They don't respond. Why would they?
Mm-hmm.
So I've also had it with Mad Max, and also had it with Life is Strange.
Wait, what? Mad Max? What they get you for Mad Max for?
Fuck if I know, dude. Like an intro song when the game was first starting.
Oh,
I ended up just cutting
me?
off. Yeah, I was even talking because I was like, oh, I got to be careful. I was joking, but I was also not sure how that game was. And so I ended up just cutting the first 6 minutes of the video footage. So
Did it save you, or did they get you for something else?
No, that saved me, because the good
Okay.
thing about uploading the video and not releasing it is that once it processes, it'll tell you exactly where you fucked up, without knowing it. Famously, I've gotten hit from 10 different things on a 40-second clip or whatever. But what I've come to do now is I'll take that video, download it, edit out that part, and then put it back up. If the YouTube audio editing works, it doesn't always work, which is garbage. All they have to do is mute that part like Twitch does, and I wouldn't give a shit,
Yeah.
But they don't. They're like, oh, it didn't work here. I guess we're just gonna have to take your money. I was like,
Wait.
You
You weren't able to mute a part of music? I was able to do that with one of my
Sometimes it
videos.
works, GamerTron, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they say, sorry, we couldn't get all of the, or we couldn't remove most of it. Yeah. I'll forward you an email next time that happens to me, so you can read the verbiage. It's garbage. I'm like, what do you mean you can't? Just lower the level of the volume even more, bitch. That's all you got to do. I don't know what your algorithm is for moving that, but it should be pretty straightforward. Can you hear the song? Yes. Then lower the output volume by X amount. Can you still hear the song? Yes. Lower the volume by X amount.
How is it after all this time YouTube still hasn't done anything about their fucking copyright?
I have no idea.
It's losing them more money than it's losing us.
But it's not. That's the whole thing.
It's not.
Look up how I'll send the headline. I think was how Content ID and Party Hard's music screwed both YouTubers and Tiny Build. I'm gonna put that in I guess Discord or something, and you can read how they talk about the It's like going to court pretty much. It's like a process, a back and forth. It's just a ridiculous back and forth about how it is. You can contest it, but guess what? Do you want a copyright strike?
Yeah, it's not worth. It's not worth it.
Yeah, GamerTron knows. He's every time that happens to him, he's like, shit. And I'm like, well, contest it. And he's like, I could contest it, but if I fail, I get an automatic strike.
You got a copyright strike.
Yep.
Exactly. So it's either best to leave it alone or take down the video, and I've had to do that a few times.
And that's what a lot of the people with the Party Hard gameplay did. And these were mid to big size, channels. They were like, we just said fuck it, and we're not going to play the game anymore on YouTube.
Oh, that's a shame, because Party Hard, what I see of it, it's
really
like
fun.
a really cool game. Yeah.
Seems like a real community kind of game where you could play that on Twitch or YouTube Live, and people would love it.
Fucking shame, all because of God. Copyright laws need to be updated, man.
It's bots. It's fake garbage. People making companies trying to claim visual content ID. That's stuff that's happened before. In fact, in that article, they point out one of them from India or whatever. Just kind of garbage everywhere.
Oh, I actually finally beat one of those visual content ID things. My dispute actually went through, and I was able to get my Call of Duty Infinite Warfare live stream. They finally let it go because of the stupid cutscenes. I finally am making money off that video again.
So read that article, and it turns out that what it is if you contest, then they have to prove that they're legally going to come after you. They have a certain amount of time. Now, they may not bother because they may not want to pay the fee, whatever that is, to the court. Maybe it's $70 to pay, a fee. There's always court costs. There's always.
Of course.
So they may not want to pay that little amount, and they may just be the threat alone. Like with my apartment complex, ignorance, and they're working off of ignorance of the people and fear, So it's usually always worth it to fight a bully, always. I've actually never seen a reason to not fight a bully, Yeah,
actually, but what'd they do? Didn't they? Wasn't your gas off for 4 or 5 days or something?
We cut me talking about that, and that's probably fine because that's all personal stuff. No one's here.
No, that's fine.
But no, I didn't. They didn't cut it. There was a gas leak. And I thought that I smelled something. I was like, is that my trash? Here's the thing, and I know this sounds weird, but I never put any leftovers in the trash. I never put any if I have meat that I cook, and you know how you have blood in the thing, I actually wash that out, and then I put it in a bag and I put it in the freezer until I'm going to throw it away. Because if I'm not going to throw it away that night, number one, it could attract insects, gnats, or my fucking dog, who's gonna go tear the bag apart to try and get it. So I put it in a bag, and it's just a little plastic thing that you just fold up, and I rinsed it out already, and I stick it in a bag, and I fold it, and I just stick it in the freezer. I got a lot of room in there. So then, like when I take it out, like Friday or whatever it is, then I just pull that bag out and throw it in there, and it's not a big deal. But I never have any food like in a, and so I was like, what the fuck is that smell? And that was happening every once in a while. I was like, maybe it's my dog. Maybe he stinks. I'll take him a bath, He's a little guy, but, they build up a stink. And I was like, man, what the hell is that, Because I had never smelled gas before. I was told that it smells like rotten eggs. Yeah, it doesn't exactly smell like rotten
exactly,
eggs.
Yeah.
It smells more like a dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells like rotten. So if you all ever, kind of like a PSA, if you have gas and you smell that, it's probably a gas leak. And so it turned out that somewhere in this building that I'm at, and there was only 1, 2, 3, like 4 units on top and 4 on the bottom, I think, at most. One of the units, or maybe all of them, had a gas leak somewhere. They never really told us. So for, a week, we had no gas. And this was when it actually got cold in Texas, and code first is like 35, 40. That's actually cold, so no hot water, so go ahead and take your bath like that, go ahead and take your shower like that. No cooking, and I don't own a microwave, and I haven't for years because it's part of the thing about boring things about being healthy, so I just don't. I make myself make food, or I go get it, one of the two. And if I go get it, I gotta walk because I gave my car away to my mom. But once again, part of the thing about being healthy, whatever. So yeah, they eventually fixed it. Took fucking 4 nights, 5 days for me to get it back. So yeah, no heat overnight, so freeze their ass off. That's fine. I actually was sleeping in a jacket, no bullshit. Just because
holy
you
shit,
kind of had to. blankets and a jacket. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
If it's 40 to 35 degrees outside, it doesn't take long for your house to get cold.
Yeah, I have those
Christ.
dates, and I when I wrote to this new management company, I wrote the dates to the old company with the temperatures as well. Look, don't ever come after me as a bully. I will fuck your world up. And that's not a threat. That's the whole thing. I'm never going to stop. And I keep data. There's one thing that I was good with web development is like keeping data and keeping paperwork. I worked for the government, okay? For 2 years, I worked for an Air Force base. I know how to cover my ass with data and paperwork. So these guys they're operating off, like I said, fear and ignorance. And goddamn, it's so easy to get renters laws. It's so easy to get in touch with like housing authority in town. It's so easy to just get names and push them around. It's like, look, so-and-so, this, so-and-so. People freak the fuck out because they assume they assume everyone's just gonna, like with YouTube, that everyone's just gonna roll over and not bother with it because we don't know how, right? It's just plain ignorance is a lot of the time. We've never had to deal with it before, so we don't know what to do. So we're just going to either take the video down or forget about it, So, yeah.
More trouble than it's worth.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well,
thankfully,
you keep
and
fighting
I know
the good
Count
fight,
says he's
man.
like this too. He likes to fight. I like a fight. I really do. And so, and I especially like people that try to bully. Because I like to fucking put them down. And it sounds like a tough guy thing. I don't have to. I do it. I do it in real life. I love it, because it's revenge, man. I got bullied so much when I was younger. So, but
why are they asking you to leave?
Oh, okay. So in the letter they marked rent, failure to pay rent, and they
I wouldn't pay rent if my gas was off for 5 days.
No. I see. Here's the thing. I know my laws. I pay everything. I don't care, and I go after them after the fact. But the way that I iterate through every issue, and like I said, I'm like a bitch about it. I have the dates, I have the temperatures, I have like what I spent on food, I have gas costs that I use to go to like friends or family's place to take a shower because I'm not gonna fucking. I showered actually a couple of days with cold water. It's a bitch, I don't want to do it.
That. Yeah,
you could do it, but I don't always want to do it. And when you wake up cold, you're not gonna be wanting to get into the cold either. You know?
Cold showers suck ass.
They do
dude.
suck. They do. They are great
suck
in the summer.
It's one of the worst things
in Texas,
ever.
When it's like 105, but when it's like 45 or it's
No, I don't care if it's 90 to 100 degrees outside. I'm still not going to take a cold shower.
Well, it's a pain in the ass to me to go in and do all, I got to go and do all this stuff whenever. And I'm like, no. So I put all these costs down and I told the last company, look, respectfully, we need to find out what the management company is going to do or the owners are going to do, which I have a letter from one of the owners when I fix one of my own fucking... Look, I've gone through an ordeal here. One of the owners sent me a letter and a check, from like their personal whatever, just saying, look, I'm sorry that you had to wait for maintenance to come. So I've got some clout here. I've got some data and I don't stop, So that's kind of how it is with, I think, the YouTube thing, kind of trying to bring it back around. It's just find out if it's worth it for you. If you like the fight, go for it,
You got to hole yourself up in your apartment. Tie a red cloth around your head.
This notice is
put your hair down. Get yourself an M16 and put up some sandbags.
I'm gonna start talking like a Nate and like
you
what they want me to.
Ain't kicking me out of my place, man.
I thought you were gonna go with like the native route, and I was like, let me just start saying,
that too.
You stay here.
Well,
you go away.
Rambo's part Native American.
Oh, so, there you go. See, even better.
I didn't call them Indians because this isn't India. But
what does he say? I didn't draw first blood. They drew first blood.
They drew
exactly.
first blood, sir.
Yeah. No, but see, the thing, this notice is, I know my laws, I know my rights too, So it's just a notice. They have to go to a judge and prove that I didn't either one pay the bill or even attempt to, which is both bullshit. So I paid my rent. They cashed it from my bank. I've got the fucking.
There you go.
It's right there. I sent them a picture of it. I tweeted them a picture of it.
Oh,
I took out pertinent information, of course, but I have my name on there and I've got their name and I've got and from the bank exactly. It's from my bank statement exactly, showing that it was taken out of my account. So there's no fucking way that they can say that I didn't pay rent. The electricity.
Well, no, they can say that. Just make sure they put the money back in your account.
Well, the electricity is the thing. Here's the thing. I didn't receive an electric bill. We always get how do you pay your bill if you don't know what it is?
Right.
Right. So my last bill that I paid was on the 26th of January. I had to actually go to them to get that because 2 times in the year that over a year that I've been at this place, they have not given us a bill. And I have gone down to the office, which, by the way, there's new companies never in the office. Conveniently, you can just go to their office or you can call them. They never fucking answer and they never call you back. I've gone down to the office here and said, hey, look, I know it's late for the electric bill. I haven't received that. What's going on? They're like, that's our fault. It's the electric company they work with. They didn't send out, blah, blah, blah. I've overpaid like twice because they had the bill wrong. But I just wanted to pay something. So I was like, all right, here's this or whatever. So it was the 17th yesterday when I got that letter saying to vacate by today. I paid on the 26th of last month in time for my electric bill. I didn't receive one between that time and now. I didn't receive a rent bill, which I never have anyways. I just paid my rent like normal. So what am I paying? What am I negligent of paying if I haven't received my bill?
Right.
So they could say, well, we sent it to you. You can say you sent it to me, but now we both have 2 people saying, this happened, this didn't happen. The thing is, you don't escalate to get the fuck out of my place.
Well,
if that's the case, then they should get the fuck out of trying to get money from me for the week that I had no gas, right?
Right.
That's an entire fucking week.
Oh, if I went a week without gas, they would have a hard time getting that month's rent from me.
No, I'm still trying to get that I see in Texas to be fully legal, I pay the bill. But I can still go after them after the fact, which is what I have to do. It's not great, but I've got time.
Yeah.
I watched Bugs Bunny. I know how to be annoying.
Yeah, that would.
So I don't stop. I'm persistent as fuck. I've learned that as an adult. You can't give up if you just don't get what you want the first time. If that's the case, you're maybe never going to get laid as a dude sometimes,
Precisely. Precisely.
There's a lot of reasons why you don't. You're never going to get that raise. You're never going to get that job you want. You're never going to get shit, if you expect everything to just fall your way,
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
So, yeah, that's one issue. I brought that up too. I sent it to 4 people on their corporate. I talked to one guy who didn't give me the name of somebody, so I called him back, left him a message. I got a number of one of their corporate people, and I called that person, left him a happy, fun message for the weekend, you know. The thing is, it sounds like I'm being rude when I do these things. I'm actually being extremely civil with a little bit of, like, sarcasm in there, you know. Because
I think you have the
I've
right
done enough
to.
business.
I think you've earned it.
Well, yeah, I've done enough business to know, too, that I'm never going to get if I just, you could try to badger and blow steam on them or whatever. That just forces them to shut the fuck down, usually. So, but I did hit them on every front. Hit them on Better Business Bureau, hit them on their Facebook, which conveniently was closed, but that's okay. I shouted them out and put the entire story up there for everyone to know to not do business with these people. I hit them up on partner ratings. I hit them up on their Twitter, like I said, and I, of course, emailed 4 of their people along with their information desk or whatever, and called 2 of their people. Right. I've done everything to let them know that it's insulting and a slap in the face. Like, if you don't, you know, the first measure of, like, somebody not paying something, you know, first off, it was like $24.54, like I said. I've paid pizzas, you know, that cost that. Why would I not pay that? Why does that lead to a letter saying vacate?
That's bullshit.
On the 17th, they sent it out on the 14th. Why not?
I don't know what
why
Texas
not put a
laws
note up?
are.
Oh, no,
you
they
couldn't
can't
do that in Indiana.
They can't force me out.
They could force you out like 90 days.
Right. They have to get it from the judge first. And that means that I would have not given them payment, which is, you know, I actually, that day that I got that which conveniently they were already out of the office, I wrote them a check and put it in the front office, the slot for the exact amount. And I told them I'm not paying any a fee over this because I got no bill, you know? Yep. So, and then, see, I don't stop. Like all of those things. And then I talked to neighbors as well. So I talked to 6 different neighbors, and I found out what their issues were. Every single one of them, except for one, had the same letter. So what I think's going on is a couple of things. Number one, remember this company came in after the other with their kerfuffle with the no gas from the last one. See, that whole thing is that last management company was actually getting shit done. It's just that this place is an old property. It used to be military related, like off base housing, and they converted it to apartments and stuff like that. And they were actually getting shit done. It's just that when you're trying to resurrect the fucking Titanic, it's going to take a little bit, you know? So, I was pissed about the gas, but I'm going to get my money out of it. And they were at least responding to me. They provided dinner one night, you know? They were like, we feel bad. The owners haven't done anything, but we're going to bring in some, you know? It's something, you know? When communication breaks down, that's the problem. And this company has not communicated except for get out. So that's when it's like, all right, it's time to fight, motherfucker. Let's do this. I have no problem doing this. I hope you're ready. Yeah.
Well, there's some states that, like, you have to wait. If you're a landlord, like, you have very few rights. You have to, even if they don't pay you rent, you have to wait like 90 days before you can, even if they haven't paid you a dime.
Yeah, Texas is really like that too. See, they got to go to the court and prove that that's going to be like that. They can't force me. It's just that it's a principle thing. Yeah. If there's a thing that you've done your entire life and you've made it a point to do that because maybe people would give you shit about it, you know, whatever. And so now, you know, you always make sure this is what you do, and that's one of your core. It's your name. Names used to mean something, you know. Saying, oh well, GamerTron, you know, your GamerTron's name would mean something. Reliability, you know, this is a person, blah blah blah. Now names don't mean as much, but I grew up with that still on me, where my name means something, you know, to other people, business-wise. Business relationships mean something. This whole corporate shit that's been happening, that's for forever, it is what it is, and I can work with that, but I still try to work on a personal level. So yeah, no. This is they've offended me. You know, you don't fucking tell me on a Friday after, you know, getting back from doing what I need to do, and other people that are getting back from work or whatever, and just tell them that they need to get out the next day. Fuck you, motherfucker. You don't drop that and then get on a 3-day weekend. No, you're gonna have fucking hell to pay when you're back. You know,
Right.
shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm an ornery bastard.
That's some bullshit right there.
It is.
There's no doubt.
And it's a right good reason to actually get triggered and get fucking fighty, and I am.
Well,
So-
the 5 day if I ever had to go, if I was renting a place and had to go 5 days without gas,
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, I'm gonna be a week late for every day I don't have gas on my payment. That's I tell them straight up.
yeah, I just can't legally do that. you know?
I know legally you can't do that, but I
Right.
would do it anyway. They
Yeah.
could sue me and I might lose, but over principle, I would just say, for every day my gas isn't in, my gas isn't on, I'm going to be a week late on my rent. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, that's yeah, and you know, I absolutely get that. I've learned over time that I get better results for taking my anger and trying to put it to something productive, because I get pissed. Like, I wanted to break shit. I wanted to, like, I haven't drank in some years, like going on 4 years, and I wanted to go get a drink, because this was it's like saying, what is something that you hold really like strong to yourself, Count, that if somebody said, you know, well, Count didn't do this and you absolutely always do, and you're like, motherfucker, I'm gonna fucking deck you right now, you know, like at your job, for example, you know, like to me, it's like, it's a core thing, like telling me I didn't pay, that I'm negligent on something. Where I used to go into the office because these motherfuckers didn't have their shit straight. They lost a check of mine once. I was like, no. I've got my records. Come at me, bro.
I have a situation where I work where we have people called group leaders, and they don't actually work. They just sit around and take care of the paperwork and stuff like that. You know, they're out on the factory floor, but they don't actually do anything, you know, that counts as production. Well, they'll hold a little 5-minute meeting. You know, they'll go on the intercom, everybody get over here. And they'll say, hey, if there's a machine down and you tell us that it's down, and if I forget that it's down because I have to answer to my superiors in the morning, then you need to remind me through the night that machine's still down. I said, wait a second. I've already told you the machine's down. Isn't that on? It's your job to know that. It's your job to follow up on that, right? He goes, no, you will be written up if I don't. If you don't remind me throughout the night that the machine's down, we're gonna write you up. I'm like, oh really?
What?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Bullshit.
And the guy turned to the other group leader. The guy turned to the other group leader and said, "You'll back me up on that, right?" And the other guy just kind of looked at him like,
Wow.
So I have to remind you to do your job through the night, or I get written up. I just laughed out loud when he said that. I said, listen, Tony, if I tell you my machine's down at the beginning of the night, it's on you. You run with that ball. I'm done.
Right.
It's your job to get that machine fixed, not mine. That's not my job.
Right.
I'm not maintenance. I don't make maintenance wage. I'm not maintenance.
Yeah. Yep. Trying to keep him out of trouble by putting you under the gun for it.
I hate when, like, people,
Yep.
just because they're higher up, like, they don't feel like they have to answer to anybody. You know what I mean? Everyone has a boss. Everyone has somebody they have to answer to. Even your apartment owners have to answer to somebody.
That's right.
You know
the
what I mean?
owners. Yeah. They may get paid by the owners, but essentially their job is to service us.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And they essentially get paid by us because we pay the owners. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's
Nothing
why the last
makes
ones
me
were out.
madder than when I have a boss that feels that they're beyond anybody above them.
Oh yeah, that was my
drives me nuts.
technical director. That was my director at the last job.
Yep. I
He's a
told
piece
my
of
boss,
shit.
I said, what if I had your attitude? That's what I said to him. What if I had your attitude?
Oh yeah. I'm sure
Hey,
that
man,
went over
you didn't
well.
remind me. You know, I came into work and I got my machine started and started running production. And then I shut down 5 minutes. You didn't remind me every 20 minutes to work. You know, so please come over here and remind me throughout the night to keep doing my job. And he kind of looked at me. He kind of looked away. He wouldn't look me in the eye. You know,
Well, you got him.
yeah, I
you
got
him.
Yeah.
How do you? He couldn't respond. He was in the wrong. He knows he was in the wrong. How
But he
could
said this in front of like 25 people. He wasn't talking to me specifically. He was talking to everybody.
Okay.
It wasn't. It had nothing to do with me. But I had to chime in. I was like, "Look, that's ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in business."
Yeah, I had something similar when I used to work at a kitchen in a restaurant. I got in there through a family member, and that family member, who was kind of like my boss, would give me jobs and tell me what to do. Would come to me and tell me, "Oh, you're not doing that fast enough. Like you're not doing it good enough." If you give me a job, if someone gives me a job and it's something important like keeping a kitchen clean, keeping tables clean, I'm going to put 110% into it, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. So when I know I'm doing everything in my power to get this done as fast as possible and get this done as well as possible, and you're telling me that's not good enough, I'm like, fuck off. I'm not Superman. I can't do this in the speed of light. Sorry if I'm a
Well,
minute
they're
late.
always going to do that. They're always going to expect better number. They're always like bitching about our numbers. Yeah.
That's some corporate shit, though. It's because that's how business works. Better.
Yeah.
You got to have a better quarter than the last. That's always how it is.
Yeah.
All right. B3 real life woes. That last one there. I'm done here. We hit the 3 hour.
Yep. Okay. Just before we go, I got one last thing for our audience. For those of you who play on PC, there are a ton of sales going on Steam right now.
Did you hear the Xbox? No, I'm saying, oh man. Like, I think the Xbox is down to like $200 right now.
I heard it was $250.
Oh shit! Really?
See, I tweeted out something right.
I saw you tweet out 200, but I've heard. I also saw an article where it said it was down to $250. So you may be right. I don't know.
I think it was just a special deal. Did you know that?
Oh, okay.
Fucking Titanfall 2 had been $25 on the 16th.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I wish you had put that in Discord or something, so I would have picked it up for 25.
I didn't know that.
Jeez,
I've had my ass stuck up Hyboria. That's Conan World all week. So yeah, I'm out of it.
Here we go. Anyway. Yeah, go ahead, GamerTron, and I'll get to mine when you.
Okay, well, for those of you on PC, Steam is having a bunch of sales right now, just to let you all know. Square Enix, up to 75% off all their games, including Hitman, Deus Ex, Just Cause, and Tomb Raider. A lot of these, 75 to 50% off. Some great deals. Great deals. There's also, Sega is hosting an event called Make War, Not Love, where all of their strategy games, including Warhammer, Dawn of War, Company of Heroes, all of them are a variety of sales off. There's a pre-order now available for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, new fighting game coming to PC.
I saw that.
Awesome.
Yep.
And one last thing, there's a free weekend for those of you who are into sports games for NBA 2K17. So if you want to try out a sports game for free this weekend, a basketball game, there it is for you.
I was always wanting to get that NBA 2.
Yeah, Steam's being very generous this week. A lot of shit on sale. So if you're listening to this podcast during this weekend, take advantage of it.
Yeah, the Xbox One S 500 gigabyte console Minecraft favorites bundle, $199.
Wow.
Yep, I put that in the Discord, but apparently
what is it?
Wow.
It's
so that's just like a special offer.
It's a special version of the packaging or whatever. So it's a 500 gig, which I don't know their quantity, like how much data, what's the good, what's bad on there, terabyte,
That's good.
But so apparently it's a Minecraft bundle.
Ugh.
That's $200. Yeah, but if you get the system for $200, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's the whole thing.
See, but I don't need. I want.
Just sell games. Take them down to GameStop.
If you, fuck GameStop.
But wow, that's real for a brand new console. $200. That's a pretty good deal. Damn.
Yeah, there's a Battlefield 1 bundle coming for $247.99.
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad.
On Amazon.
Either. That's not bad. You're getting a
Battle 1's not a
AAA.
bad movie. Yeah, I mean game. Sorry.
Bad movie?
No, it might as well be a movie. That's all it's good for.
Oh. Well, I like movie games too sometimes. So, all right.
That was a good podcast, gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm done. I gotta walk this dog. He's like begging to go now.
Yeah,
is that what the kids are saying nowadays? Is that the code nowadays?
Probably talking about the Ship of Heroes thing next week. GamerTron started out talking about that, but
Yes, I have accounts given me. We talked about it a little bit, like what's going on, I was like, yeah, I told everybody that we had that talk. That's why I was saying, well, I wanted GamerTron to do the podcast. And you were busy. It's just a scheduling thing. That's all it was. And I was like, all right, so, but then it didn't work either way. So, with that,
well, how dare you go to your mom's birthday?
Well, no, GamerTron too. It was his mom's birthday.
Yeah, I know.
Apparently, both our moms were born the same day. Who knew?
Yeah, that was actually my mom's birthday. Yeah. So, and a friend of mine's, like my best buddy's birthday. So, but anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I do have the images that Count sent me now from Ship of Heroes, so I can put it together a video. But I can do the audio on it without a problem. So I'll do that, and that'll come out like as a special edition or whatever.
Yeah.
This week.
Yay.
And yeah, Count, I'll let you know ahead of time. I don't know if you want to like try to do something about that either, but I can let you know ahead of time. But the audio is going to be pretty straightforward. It's the video one that I need to like actually do some little work with. So, but yeah,
That's all good.
That talk, that Count worked. We're able to do that early morning. So
awesome.
Great.
Well, they want to be on the show, I guess. So
yeah,
that's coming down the road. Yeah.
All right.
We'll have to set up something on that. But
all right.
I didn't get to talk about my 50 Shades Darker adventure that my wife made me take her to
last
week.
Please do.
No.
Because that ties up with your Twitter thing, and that made me laugh. I'm sorry it made me laugh, but it made me laugh.
Okay, all right. Go.
What happened with? Can you tell us what happened with your Twitter as well?
Well, for one, my wife made me go take her for Valentine's Day to 50 Shades Darker.
Wasn't it a deal though? Like, I thought there was a deal there. Like, you go do that if you got a chance to play games or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, no, if I just had a chance to be not miserable for the next month or two. But yeah, she goes, I always go to your super stupid superhero movies, and I had a pass to the movie. I had a $25 gift card that was given to me, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I sat in the theater. I kicked my feet up in the theater, and then I put my hat down over my eyes and acted like I was sleeping through the movie. And she kept like nudging me, like, because she's all hot and bothered, by that movie, all the sex and everything. So, I mean, I don't know, single guys, if you bring a girl to that movie, you might they might get hot and bothered, but I mean, it's my wife. I mean, nobody really wants to have sex with their wife. So
what?
Well, I'm just saying, but no, it was, the movie wasn't terrible. It's got a 9% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, a 9%. That's like one of the lowest scores I've ever seen, but it wasn't terrible. It was kind of entertaining in a bad way. You know what I mean? It was so over the top bad that it kind of there was some entertaining parts of it. I didn't totally hate the movie. So,
do you mind if I read your tweets about that?
Go. I don't
please,
care.
because
why would
so
I care?
Good. Well, because it's your Twitter. I want to like put it.
I don't give a shit about stuff like that.
You come off as like a really fucking good comedian doing these tweets. I swear to God. And like Phil and I were watching that one time where your wife was giving you shit. We were not joking. That would make an entertaining little series. If you
I've tried to get her on board to doing like a dual Twitch stream, like on a regular schedule, and she doesn't care. My wife doesn't give it. My wife is so self-absorbed she could not.
So check this out. Check this out. February 9th. Wife talked me into taking night off. Have to take her to see.
I took the night off work.
50 Shades
I got paid
movie
for it, but I burned one of my vacation days to fucking take her to that.
Oh,
that's what it was.
Yeah.
So have to take her to see the new 50 Shades movie. Kill me now. I'm not joking. Going to sleep during.
Yes.
So then, update. I forgot wife follows me on Twitter. Last week and it cost me extra large popcorn and candy at the movie. Goodbye, $40. Second update. Wife now blocked on Twitter for the moment. I could be at home playing Conan Exiles, but no. Have to waste money on this trash.
Well, I mean, that's how it was.
my
I mean, I'm not
God.
trying to be funny. It's just reality. I'm not trying to be
So
an
good,
asshole
though.
or anything. It's just,
I know. It's just because it hits close. I know I've been with people before, like, chicks that were into like that kind of, whatever. Oh, we gotta go see this, whatever, blah, blah. It's like, oh God, it's garbage. Just watch porn if you really want.
That's what I said.
Porn's free.
That's what I told her.
Like,
I said, just watch. Why are you going to watch soft porn when you can just bring up it on? You know what I mean?
Yeah, watch it. You want what? You want a really bad story? I'll tell you a really bad story while the porn is going on. It'll be hilarious. Anyways.
But she's all trying to get freaky in the theater, and I'm sitting there like a prude. I mean, I'm sitting there like
What's wrong with you? Oh, my
absolutely prudish.
Oh,
It's the
man.
principle of the matter. You're not going to manipulate me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that fully. I'm like that too. I don't like
Because
being
it'll never
manipulated.
stop. If I buy into the freakiness during 50 Shades Darker, then every fucking sequel I'm going to have to go, and then pretty soon she'll have me cosplaying the goddamn shit.
It's
all right,
power over.
yeah,
you.
and
Yep.
I'm not going to do it. I nip it in the bud right away.
Yeah. What is this thug hater? Oh, I don't even know. I want to read. I'm going to read that. All
Thug
right,
hater's my buddy. Yeah.
I'll leave it out. Okay. That's
Great
pretty awesome. Yeah.
Oh, great.
But it was kind of funny to go and then pretend like I was sleeping, trolling her, and then she's bumping me in the elbow, like, "Wake up! Make sure you're paying attention to this." And I'm like, eh. Anyway, there was so many like super overweight women there, and I'm not trying to like fat shame or anything like that, but there was so many like women that were like huge women there, like with their buckets of popcorn, just salivating at the screen. I'm just like,
wow.
oh my God. But we went opening night,
Wow.
Anyway.
That
Yeah,
is
it was
special.
like, ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right.
I'm
With
sorry.
that, no, that was great. With that, I think we're done.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, dog. Dog is like, why are you doing this? Okay.
Yeah, I got it. I'm going to get on Conan.
Bye,
so-
everyone.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe we should run some kind of promotion, like if anybody, because Conan's not free. Maybe people want to play it, but they don't want to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll look into that. Let's see. But then you have to be a son of anarchy. I mean, son of
Trump.
Yeah. That's the catch.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Or that's the reward. Yeah.
A lot of people don't want that. Yeah, so
They might. Some of them might get some new friends.
I'll probably be loaning it tonight on there since his PC broke. He just bought that.
Indicator.
He bought that PC with that. Yeah,
Isn't
off
that
that
the
friend of
one-
his.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the one that was recommended from like.
No, I told him to
Disquick.
go with Zydex, but he said he had a good deal, and it was a good deal. He spent like $1,800 on a really nice PC. The guy built, local guy, but I'm always weary of that. You know what I mean? You don't know how old that motherboard is. It's a good motherboard, but it's, you don't know if the guy that put it together knows what
true.
the fuck he's doing. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So anyway,
I gotta read
right.
this. New count tweet. Wife may be turned gaming room into red room of pain. I don't know what that means, but it sounds hilarious. And also, I don't think Count would be doing that.
who did that?
Watusi
2C.
just was making like a funny tweet. Or
Oh,
whatever, like-
okay. I didn't see.
No, I don't think.
Oh,
I really don't
God.
see Count would be doing that. All right, we're out of here.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Later.
Good night, goodbye. Remember, check out all our links and downloads to the podcast. Thank you so much for your support. We love you all.
GamerTron doesn't even know what podcast he's on. He's like, the things with the podcast and the links.
With
and
whatever
the-
we're doing.
Free
Yeah.
GamingCast. Thank you very
He's
much.
like, whatever,
sir.
this tiny, whatever. Do you know how many subs I have on YouTube?
Yeah, really.
That is true. I do have quite a few.
Oh, jeez.
Ladies.